Buenos dias, buenos dias. I hope you fortified your Friday so that you have some energy for today. I was probably watching that fight, huh? Got a little too drizzed. That's okay though. You do you. Let me get some light on. Shine that light. There's something that I wanna show you before I start. But we're gonna be here a lot longer than we are on the weekdays. According to the Bible, if you follow the Bible, today's Sabbath. Today is the day of. Let me look it up real quick. All right, so this is what Sabbath indicates in the Bible. It's a weekly day of rest and worship, commanded in the Bible as the seventh day, symbolizing God's rest after creation and serving as a time. So seventh day, I believe it's Saturday, but that's what they say. I don't know. Let's see. So Sabbath begins Friday to nightfall Saturday. So Sabbath began yesterday. And happy soulful Sunday. Happy soulful Saturday. I gotta put on some socks. Hold on, it's cold. Believe me. As they say in New York, it's brick. It's cold. It's 40 degrees. They may not seem cold, but it is. I have on 3 pair of socks. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Wake up, wake up. Love your soul, not your role. You already know. My name is Omni Cosmic. And today is Bible study. I'm going to be here a little bit longer than normal. On the weekdays, I only do like 45 minutes. So last I did this was, I think like a month ago, 2 months ago. Been running into some spiritual battles that I had to handle. Didn't want to come on here with that type of energy, so I got rid of it as much as I could. I want to give a huge shout out to Moshi Dolce. She's been around for a while. She was one of the first subscribers to the channel when I switched from gaming to love your soul, not your role, be a listener, listen twice and speak once. I just want to say hello. She did change her handle, but praise to the Almighty that you're doing well. Thank you for the like. Okay, so before we get off into anything, so again, I read Sabbath is from Friday night fall till Saturday. 7th day of the week in Jewish tradition, a day of rest honoring God's creation rest. While some Christians observe Saturday, many Protestants, Catholic denominations shifted their day of worship to Sunday, the Lord's Day, not God's Day. The Lord's Day. Again, the Lord's Day. So for me, that's two different things. Two different things for me. In my understanding, in my contemplation of these two differences in the wording. Let me just look up the word Lord real quick. And then I'm going to talk about something that was removed from the Bible. Maybe we can find out why. And I already broke this word down, so I'm just going to do it again. Buenos dias, buenos dias. Wake up, wake up. Love your soul natural. You already know. Come on in, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Hope you're doing well today. I hope you didn't. If you did go see the fight and you kind of hurting and you need to lay down, do that. Recoup. Because I know there's a ton of people, millions, that went to go see that fight last night. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not, because I can't lie. I'm not a liar. I contemplated it, but I didn't do it. It was a battle. Fridays for me, usually, this is why I call it Fortification Friday. Lo and behold, to me, it's important to fortify myself before the weekend. For me, definitely one of the things that I need to do, and I'm doing it. It's not easy. When you're conditioned to believe to be a certain way, and you have no way out because you can't. There's no information on how you do that, how you recondition yourself. But I'm trying to do that together. Recondition our conditioning. Okay, so it's convoluted. I know that, you know that. It's been changed, and I'm gonna prove it that it's been changed, because you have to have some type of proof, right? I've been reading about this stuff for a long time. I've been in it by myself, learning by myself, asking questions, and thinking I had my own opinion about something when really it wasn't. It was just something that was inaccurate. So check this out. I'm just going to read you regular. We're looking at the word Lord. The word Lord. I'm going to try to get some definition. In religion, which is, you can look that word up too. Look up religion and find out what it means. You will be shocked. In religion, Lord, capital L, Lord, signifies ultimate power, authority, and mastery, translating Hebrew Adonai and Yahweh. In Greek, Kurios, Kurios, terms of God, denoting him as creator, ruler, and master. It's used for God in Jerusalem and Christianity, often replacing his sacred name, Yahweh. That's his name. And applied to Jesus Christ to affirm his divine authority, as in the phrase, Jesus is Lord, a declaration of sovereignty over earthly rulers. Similar titles exist in other faiths like Baal, Canaanite, or Adonai, Tammuz, showing a universal concept of divine mastery. That's all it is. It's a universal concept of divine mastery. Don't take it on skin value. So here's other religions, right there, if you can see where my middle finger is. And it says Canaanites, Baal, and you can look that up too if you want, meant Lord, and it was used for various local deities, especially the storm god Baal Hadu. Mesopotamian Tammuz was addressed as Adonai, my Lord. So we can go on and on and on and on, but we're not gonna. But there you have it. There's different understandings of what Lord is. I do not equate the term Lord with Yahweh. I just don't. I just don't see it. It doesn't click in my head, and I'm not ever gonna. But here's what I really wanted to talk about. Briefly, before we get into numbers, we're gonna finish numbers, because what's a really good plan on reading this is that we read every day through, maybe a chapter on the weekdays, right? And then in those chapters, we'll be able to finish it off on the great Sabbath, on the day of rest and worship, which is today. Which started yesterday, as we just learned. We learn it as we go. So I'm going to show you my notes right here. So it says Matthew 9:29, and then I got some notes down here. So this is what I scroll through the internet looking for information that is gonna assist me in studying a certain part of the religion, a certain part of what I'm studying, right? So I try to find people that are on the same mindset, or even maybe just preachers and pastors, which I do, and I listen to them. I'll go to a podcast and I'll, equate it. So say I'm studying numbers, I'll put in numbers, so on and so forth. So while I was doing that, there was a gentleman on Facebook, and he stated, how do you heal yourself? Where in the Bible does it say how do you heal yourself? So I'm going to go to Mark 9:29. This is real quick. This is aside from numbers. But let's go to Mark 9:29, which I think is over here. But if I don't have it bookmarked, I'll just go to the index. Right? Table of contents? No. Yeah, table of contents. So Malachi, Matthew, Luke, Mark, page 1521. So let's go all the way to page 1521. That's 12. 13. This is it. It's got to be Matthew. Here we go. So Matthew 9:29. This is Matthew 7. Matthew chapter 9, verse 29. Here we go. Jesus heals a paralytic. Right, that's what he says, right? Oh, that's not even there. Hold on. Mark. It's Mark. I'm looking at the wrong part. So it's Mark 9:29. Sorry. Matthew. Some Mark was before Matthew. Mark, here we go. 1527. So this is, I'm going to Mark chapter 9, verse 29. Okay. That's chapter 5, 6, 9. Here we go. This is about healing, how you heal yourself. And again, this is something that I picked up from somebody that was on Facebook, and it just caught my attention. And I'll tell you why. Okay. So it's real short. So here it is. It says, Mark chapter 9, verse 29. It says, after Jesus, this is 28, verse 28. After Jesus had gone indoors, his disciples asked him privately, why couldn't we drive it out? He replied, this kind can come out only by prayer. It's basically talking about fasting, but I don't see anything in here that indicates. This is the NIV, so it's been chopped up big time from what I'm noticing. I can't find it. So it says Mark 9:29. It's probably in the KJV. I'm going to search here. Let me see. I'm going to go to the Bible app, version, and I'm going to look for the KJV. Might be in there. So Bible, NIV. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to look at the King James Version. So we'll do, what are we doing? We're doing Mark 9. So Mark 9. This is the KJV version, King James. I'm going to go to verse 29, see if I can find it here. Here it is. So this is what I wanted to compare with, what I wanted to show you. So in the KJV, the NIV version things have been taken out, changed. It's just not, I'm probably going to start reading this one, but we'll see. Maybe not, because I'm going to be done. I can use it to look. So this is verse 29, and this is Mark. So it says, and he said unto them, this kind can come forth by nothing but by prayer and fasting. So that's what the question. But Jesus took him by the hand and lifted him up as he rose. And when he was come into the house, his disciples asked him privately, why could not we cast him out? And he said unto them, Christ said unto them, this kind can come forth by nothing but prayer and fasting. So this is why I fast. This is why you have to fast. You can clean out your system. You can clean out all the demons by fasting. Believe me, it's true. I'm doing it. This is what I'm telling you. Now, Matthew 17:21 is about the same thing. Now, this is the NIV version that I have physically, which is, I'm realizing how editing, I used to be a photographer, and I used to always like to say, if any real photo is edited, then it's fake. If any scripture, anything that has a real base, a foundation of information to back it up, and it's edited, then it's fake because it was edited. Anything I believe this because I used to be a photographer, and I used to make things look fake to look good for other people's eyes. So I know anything edited is fake. It's been fakealized. That's a new word, fakealized. Okay. So there you have it. So in the KJV, King James Version, it says on Mark 9:29, and he said unto them, this kind can come forth by nothing, which means this kind, this spirit, this evilness, this parasite can be can come forth by nothing but by prayer and fasting. Prayer and fasting. I like to say meditation and fasting. But that's the only way you can heal yourself. He's telling you the only way that you can do this, the only way that you can remove these demons from your body. Listen to this. He's telling you in Mark 9:29 by prayer and fasting. Again, pray if you want. Pray if you want. I get that. That's okay. It's okay. But I'm not religious, so I'm not looking for any religious, fanaticism or any religious indoctrination. I'm trying to actually recondition myself to read and understand what I'm reading on my own, with reference, of course. And of course, the references are coming from others. True that. But if you're in the light, if you're aligned with yourself, you know which one is what data, what download is for you. So that's what you will use. But universally, it's all relative, right? So now let's go down to Matthew 17. I'm going to go in the NIV back to Matthew, which is way over here, I believe. Oh, no, actually, we're just in Matthew. So Matthew is over here. Anyways, here's Matthew. So I'm going to Matthew chapter 17. So what the gentleman said, he says, in the KJV, he didn't say it in that nature, but that's where we see it, that Jesus Christ said the only way that you can take that out of you is by prayer and fasting. So then the gentleman said that data, that information was removed. And that's Mark 9:29 was removed from Matthew 17. Now let's see. And it's supposed to be there. And it's supposed to say the same thing. Matthew 17:21. However, this kind does not go out except by prayer and fasting. That's supposed to be there. Now, here we go. Matthew 17. I was not surprised, but it is kind of, if you're not waking up, then you're not going to see it. You're going to go right by it. Because you are trained to compartmentalize information. To learn something this and then keep it that way, and then learn this and then keep it that way, and then learn you pocket all the knowledge that you get, and you never bring it together, and that causes confusion. So let me go to 17, Matthew 17. Here it is, Matthew 17. Okay, I'm going to show you the book because I have to. So he said that Matthew 17 verse 21 was removed from the Bible, and I'm going to show you as a fact. I hope you can see this, but if you don't, then let me point it out. Okay, so this is Matthew chapter 17, and then we're going to go down to, let me see it again. Okay, let's see if we can see. So here's verse, let me see if I can see it. This page goes over here, right? Hold on. It's not easy. Yeah. So I'm gonna mark it like this. Can you see it? So that's verse 19. Right? Am I right? Can I see it? I can't see it. I'm gonna do it this way. I'll do it this way. Let me do it this way. So here you go. All right. So that verse, in terms of healing was removed. So here's verse 20. After 20 comes what? 21. It goes from 21 to 22. Totally eliminated the data of how you can heal demonic entities within your body. So because you have so little faith, I tell you the truth. If you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, move from here and there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you. So that's, look at it again. I'm going to show you real close. Verse 20 in Matthew 17 to 22. 21 was removed. Now, I was looking at why. Let's use the World Wide Web to figure it out. So I'm just going to basically say, why was verse 21 removed from the NIV? Why was Matthew 21 removed? Matthew 17, so 17, 21. And I just showed you it was removed. Matthew 17, 21, which speaks of prayer and fasting. It's not there. I just showed you in the NIV, they removed it. Overcoming demons was likely added later by scribes and isn't in the earliest, most reliable manuscripts like Codex Sinaiticus and Vaticanus. Whatever. Those are those Roman terms. Leading modern translation, NIV, ESV, to omit or footnote it, while older versions, the KJV, the NKJV, kept it based on later majority text manuscripts that included the addition often borrowing from Mark. So now you have this information to be able, like I said, to do your research about this book that ensnares you and puts you in a square box. That's the grand right. It's right there. So let me look in the notes. Here it is. So in the notes, because this is a study Bible, it has a lot of notes. So it says, it writes it down and it says, in the notes, it says Matthew 17, 21, see NIV text note on verse 20. So verse 20, go back to verse 20, it says, little faith, not so much faith, the quantity of their faith as its quality. A faith, and this is a note, this is a text note, that is bathed in prayer. See Mark 9:29. So there it is. It refers you to Mark 29. And if you don't read it, you're not going to see it. You're not going to know it. You're not going to be more knowledgeable. But it tells you in the Bible how you can heal yourself from anything. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. That's not a joke. I'm back to my normal weight when I was 22. Picture that. Well, most of us like me, I was obese. I had a lot of medical issues. So what I started doing, I started eating right. Last time I ate meat and chicken probably was 2 weeks ago. I'm not above it, but I don't eat it every day. I eat fruits and veggies every day. Cravings are gone because the parasites that I'm killing off are not there asking for that type of nutrition, that type, that. So they're gone. They're going slowly but surely. So there's no impulse for eating anything. Hey, hi. How are you? Thank you for saying hello. So there it is. So there's a reference note to go to Mark 9:29 that tells you prayer and fasting is the only way to get rid of them demons, parasites. Okay, there it is. That's just something I wanted to point out real quick. I was supposed to do it on Friday, but I think we did a little bit of other things. So there it is. Portcullis, which is I'm good. Thank you for asking. I appreciate it. I'm great. Hope you're having a wonderful, soulful Saturday, which is what we call it, what I call it. So we talked about being unwind for Fortification Friday. We also talked about the portcullis was part of one of my poems, which is a wooden and metal gate to fortify, kind of like a shield, but it to fortify a fortress. Where you pull the gate down and it has these like daggers at the bottom, and they dig into the bottom of the ground, and that's called the portcullis. So I use that term in a poem. Basically, it means to fortify. So Friday is Fortification Friday. So there you go. A couple of things that we talked about. So let's do the morning affirmation. I went from praying to affirming. If you pray to the Almighty on your terms and on your time, beautiful. That's your communication with Yahweh. That's the way either you chose to or you were shown and you feel more comfortable with that. Beautiful, beautiful. That's your connection. That's how and then you should do what makes you feel connected to Yahweh. What gives you sustainability in that relationship. That's great. I learned that affirmations are have helped me throughout my time. On my difficult times when I was, down and out in Beverly Hills. But prayer definitely it helps. It helps. And if you're used to doing it, I say pray all the time. Whether you're walking around, whether you're at work or you're busy, pray. Just pray in your mind. Pray in the morning. If you like to pray, pray in the morning. Father God, this day is yours. Please protect me and give me discernment. Discernment is what you need. Help me have a complete mind. You don't want to be split minded, and those things will be given to you. And it's awesome when it's given to you and you recognize it. It's the best feeling. It is. It keeps you aware. It keeps you safe, and keeps you grounded. Definitely, it gives you fortification in your goals of spiritual enlightenment, because basically that's what it is. That's the best type of for me. It's the best type of training. It's the best type of evolvement, right? It's the best way is to pray. I like to call it meditation, affirmations. But your communication with the Father is how you feel comfortable, and keep that going. Can't stop, won't stop. Wake up, wake up. Come on in, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Today we're gonna be on here a little bit longer. We're gonna finish numbers. Numbers is gonna be done today, and then we're gonna stop, and then we'll rely on next is Deuteronomy, and that should be a lot of fun. But we will see. Get some knowledge. Wake up, listen twice, and speak once. Okay, here we go. So I got some good stuff for you today. Okay. So let's do the affirmation. So I got my notepad back. Here's my notes. This is Soulful Saturday stuff. And here's the morning affirmation. You ready? Take 3 breaths. That felt good. Okay, here we go. Soulful Saturday. Happy Saturday. There is something special about the stillness of a Saturday morning. It's a chance to exhale the week and reconnect with your rhythm. With your rhythm. Your rhythm. So, whether you wake up at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, that's your rhythm, so be it. That's a good thing. If it makes you feel good, it's good. That's good. Let me, I want to go light and incense. I think I need to. Give me 1 minute. May y'all Father grant me peace, discernment, tranquility, health, and completeness. In the name of the Almighty. Pray to be to the Most High. And for Tony too. Oh, I just lit the candle. I lit the incense because I think I need it. Feel it. Okay, exhale the week and reconnect with your own rhythm. Here's a soulful affirmation for you to sit with today. So here's the affirmation. That was just a little jump start. Today, I release the pressure to be productive and embrace the permission to just be. I honor my need for rest. Honor my need for rest. You need some rest, especially if you went out to go see that fight last night, because everybody was talking about the fight, which is, I'm not religious, but if I was your Lord, I'd be jealous you go out and see somebody else. What you mean? You're gonna spend all your energy, all your money, all everything on these humans that are just like you, when you could be getting some light and some love from the true master, one and only. But hey, that's your choice. He gave you will. So I'm going to say it again. I honor my need for rest. I listen to the quiet whispers of my soul. And I move through this day with softness and grace. I am worthy of peace exactly as I am. Beautiful, beautiful. Run with it. Say it again. Today I release the pressure to be productive. There's no pressure today. There ain't no pressure. And embrace the permission to just be. Just be. Just see, look, feel. Look at you, look at yourself, look at where you are. Have gratitude for the things that you have, the things that you've lost, the things that you will gain. But mainly have gratitude for the fact that you can have gratitude. I have gratitude because I'm able to be grateful. Wake up, wake up. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. So I honor my need for rest. You must rest. You must rest. You must relax. You must, de-stress your body. And I'm going to say this again, especially if you went out last night and you had a bunch of drinks, because that's what I would have done if I wasn't, being me, which I wasn't. That wasn't me. That was just running with the crowd. And I never really felt like I would need to be running with the crowd. I've always made my own way. Always. Anyway, I listen to the quiet whispers of my soul. Gotta meditate. In peace and quiet and solidarity. In solidarity, is that right? In solitude, where there's nobody around, there's no distraction, there's no cell phone. Turn your cell phone off. Turn it off. Turn it off. Because you are conditioned to hear bells ringing from out of school, public school system. You got the bell to change periods. You got the bell for lunch. You got the bell for recess. Listen, recondition your mind. Get out of that state of being alerted. Ding, ding, boom, whatever the alerts are. And then you're meditating and you're trying to find quiet whispers in your soul, but you can't do that because the moment, turn the phone off, because if you leave it on, it's going to beep. Somebody's going to, because if these spirits are fighting for your soul, right, and you're in the middle, you're neither here nor there, but you can't choose both. But let's say you're trying to transition. You can't do that with distractions of what you used to be, of where you used to go, of who you used to talk to. It's not. They're going to try to keep you away from it. Unbeknownst to them that they're being used to keep you from being you. So turn your phone off when you do that. Turn it off. Turn it off. Put it in another room, or have it. If you have a nice big house, then go to a different room. Make that room for meditation and self healing. It works, believe me. And I move through this day with softness and grace. Just be. In other words, just be. Let things come to you. Don't go rushing to find things. Don't try to be productive. Just be. Just listen. Feels good. It feels good to do that. It feels good to realign yourself with yourself. It does. It feels really, really good. I can't say that enough. I am worthy of peace exactly as I am. Facts. So thank you for that. That was the morning affirmation. And this is a part that I picked up, and again I use Gemini AI to help me with these concepts. Exactly the way I want them to be. I may not read them right away, but sometimes I'm starting to, because I know that there was some information that I requested, and it came out like really weird. Not weird, but just not the way I wanted it to be when I read it. And I was like, no, that's not. So I stopped reading it. But these I read, and I edit them, even though that earlier I said that editing anything is fake. But this type of editing is to clarify the message, to clarify my intent. So that's the difference between me editing something and somebody else editing something just to manipulate you. Try to give yourself an hour phone free. There it is. Like I said earlier, give yourself if you can do it, you're at a disadvantage because now you have an appendage that is not even appended to you. So if you get to put the phone down, put the phone down. If you can't start with 15 minutes, and you're gonna see your addiction, how you begin to shiver. It's ridiculous. How you begin to look for, it's not ringing. And then when if you're outside looking in, you realize how controlled you really are. I stopped taking my phone everywhere because I don't need it. I don't need it. I need it to communicate with people. That's about it. I don't need it to be on my person 24/7. In the middle of the night, your phone pings you. Ping. You literally wake up. Literally. You wake up, you go look at the message, see what it's all about. No, I'm on DND all day. All day. So put the phone down for an hour if you can. If you can start off slow, 5 minutes. Just even turn it off. Just turn it off. And you are going to be, you're going to have a space full of tranquility, quietness that you're not used to. You're used to chaos, noise. Distraction is something that's an addiction. And once you're addicted to distraction, you're doing nothing in your life but following others' posts. No, don't do that to yourself. So this is, you know, give yourself an hour of phone free time to keep your morning energy sacred and undisturbed by the outside world. Listen to the quiet. Listen to the quiet. How can I listen if it's quiet? You can hear so many things when you're not distracted with your phone. You can. These things will be so foreign to you that some of them are going to make you afraid. Some of them are going to make you surprised. Some of the noises you're going to be like, what is that? I've never heard that before. Of course you haven't. There are bees outside my window. And the bees tend to hit the window. And if there are two of them, but I wouldn't know that. I would be freaked out. I'm like, what is that noise? But when I work, I pull my window up so I see the activity outside. So I know that there's bees out there that hit the window every now and again, right? But if I'm not paying attention to my surroundings, I'm not being free of distractions, then those things will surprise me. They'll scare me. They'll, put things on me that I don't wish to have on me. Like thought, what is out? Who's out there? Put your phone down for an hour. Work yourself up. Like if you truly walk around all day, every day with this thing in your hand and in your pocket and in your chest, and every time it goes ding, you look. Gavin, I think so. That was a long time ago, was it, Gavin? Could be. Could be. You used to watch my live stream like this one, like the morning prayers that I used to do. We could talk today. Usually on the weekdays, I'm not really responding to most of it because I got an hour, 45 minutes in the morning. Thank you, man. Definitely in the morning. I don't think I am, but thank you for that. I'm kind of modest. I'm just trying to put out what I'm picking up. That's it. Sharing. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. You made my day. Yeah, yeah. This is so morning prayers from Monday through Friday. I haven't been doing them because I've been going through some spiritual battles myself, so I had to deal with that. But I'm back. Wake up, wake up. You already know. Love your soul, not your role. Listen twice and speak once. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. So listen to the quiet. Saturdays are for the sounds we usually ignore: birds, the wind, or just the hum of your own home. Your home has a hum. It does. And if you can catch up on that frequency, you're aligned with your home. Most people are not aligned with their home, with their dwelling. They're just living there, sleeping there, paying the mortgage, whatever the case may be. But you don't fortify, you don't integrate, you don't interact, and you should. You should just about clean and just walk around. Sit down in the living room. Sorry to hear that. I also lost somebody last week. Someone extremely dear to me. But I like to say, I like to keep it all 100. We may have lost a body, but we gained an angel, right? They're there for you now in the spirit world. And look for them, ask them questions, ask them to guide you. They'll do it. They're your ancestors. And I understand. I do. It's not easy. It can take a toll on your emotions, but when you're in the spirit, you understand what's going on. It's not a mystery to you. Passing can be a difficult time, and anyone's, and even, in your life, in your in your family's lives, it can take a toll on your work, on your emotions, on your physical health, your mental health. So just ask Yahweh for guidance, for protection, for peace, and work at it. He's not just gonna go, here you go. That doesn't work that way. You have to put your mind to it. You have to put your whole body of everything in line, and then you'll understand. And then it won't be any. I'm not gonna say it's not difficult because it is. It is. You'll be more sustained throughout that time, throughout that period in your life, because you're in Yahweh's hands, and He loves you. He's gonna make sure that you're okay. Your soul, not your physical being. He has nothing to do with that. It's your soul. That your soul is okay, and then you have to build that, making it okay. So, again, you have my condolences. Okay, so listen to the sound of the hum of your house. Walk to a different room that you rarely walk and just sit there and just. Just hear the sound. I didn't get that because I have my eyes closed. Let me see. Okay, here it is down here. Yeah, I can do that. I can send me a DM. I know you are. I know you are. I know you are. I know you are. If you can, it's difficult. I mean, I can't give you any advice on that, but keep an open mind. Um, Hold on to the good stuff and cherish those moments. You know that I mean that's what you have now. You have moments now, but they're still alive in you. The person I lost right now changed my life. She helped me with so many things, and being authentic was one of them. I'm an empath. I used to please everybody. I was like a chameleon, but I was doing what they wanted. Um, how do you do that? So let me see if I can show you. So you're on your YouTube. Let me go. Let me see. I'm gonna try to show you on the phone. So if you're on your YouTube, right? Come on. Okay, go to your channel. So you gotta view the channel. So let me show you. See if I can show you. See if you can see. You know what? Are you able to scan the QR code if I put it in front of the camera like that? You do? Send me that. Then send me that. Send me that. I'll do it. Thank you. Um, I was playing God of War yesterday on Twitch. I was playing on here, but there was nobody, participating. So I went to Twitch. I had one person that I met. She was really cool. She was watching me play, and we talked a lot. So I played maybe for like an hour or so, but I was on Twitch. But yeah, do that, and I'll find you. Thank you. Oh, so let me get back to let me get back to okay to the affirmation. So take your time, listen, be a listener, not a talker. Be open minded, and connect with your frequency of your house, of your home, of the noises that you hear, of the clicks, the clacks, and what was happening in your mind at that moment that you got that click and that clack somewhere in the house, and what is it? And that'll give you peace of mind. It will. So here's the last portion of this. What is one thing your heart needs today that doesn't involve a to-do list? What is one thing that your heart needs today that doesn't involve an external to-do list? Like to-do list is something that's I gotta do this, I gotta do that. No. What is something that your heart needs? Ask it. What you need. Peace. I need peace. That's what my heart just told me. So try that. Silence. Before you begin, I like to add that when when you put yourself in a solitary place so that you can realign yourself, which is very important. Realigning yourself. Yes, please. Yeah, it just happened to me too. It froze on me, but it's back. So there you go. Today's affirmation. I'm going to read it one more time. Today I release the pressure to be productive and embrace the permission to just be. I honor my need for rest. I listen to the quiet whispers of my soul, and I move through this day with softness and grace. I am worthy of peace exactly as I am. Wake up, love your soul, not your role. You already burn, listen twice, and speak once. Okay, so I got a poem. I used to think I was a poet. I got like a little stack of poems that I've been writing for a long time. Some of them are in Spanish. But here we go. Okay. Can I get this whole page here? Okay, yeah, I can. Right, this one's not too long, but check it out. This is called The Quiet Anchor. The morning doesn't shout today. It hums a low and amber tune. The shadows stretch in silver gray. Beneath the pale and waning moon, the kettle breathes a plume of white. The dust motes dance in filtered beams. We trade the frantic edge of life, of light, for soft reflections and quiet dreams. No mountain peaks to climb by noon. No list to check or races run. Just hours woven in a spoon and stillness warming in the sun. I'll read that again. No mountain peaks to climb by noon. No list to check or races run. Can't get that. No mountain peaks to climb by noon. No list to check or races. The soul exhales, the spirit mends. The soul exhales, the spirit mends. In moments we claim from the fray until the golden evening ends. A long and soulful Saturday. There you go. That's today's poem. Beautiful stuff. Like I said, I used Gemini AI with the general concept of the poem and what I want it to mean. And it kicks out some good stuff like this. So this is a reflection. So Saturdays are often a bridge between the doing of the week and the being of the end of week. Thank you for the like. I appreciate it. That was a poem. So I like poems. I grew up in the 80s, right? And hip hop back then was incredibly lyrical. I love lyrical songs. For instance, Eric B. or Rakim, should I say? The 18th letter. Big Daddy Kane, Randell. I know you guys have never heard of him. Molly Mall. Sweet. Thank you. I see 4. I don't see 5, but that's okay. It is what it is. I'm here to share my experiences, to get some knowledge about the Bible, and have a good spirited conversation. So it's all good. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. So let's go with Now we got a quote. So we got an affirmation, a poem, and a quote. So this quote is from Caroline Mace, and this is who she is. Caroline Mace is an American author, teacher, and internationally renowned speaker known for her work in the fields of human consciousness, spirituality, and energy medicine. A 5-time New York Times bestselling author, she is widely considered a pioneer in the field of medical intuition. So that's Caroline Mace. It's spelled Myss. So here's a quote from her that I found appropriate for today. The soul always knows what to do to heal itself. The challenge is to silence the mind. This is exactly why I chose this bingo. Love your soul, not your role. Listen twice and speak once. I'm going to read it again, maybe probably a couple other times. So today's Soulful Saturday. I've always been talking about how you heal yourself and it tells you, we just read it in the Bible, that it was placed and then it was removed. It's noted in the notes of the text, but it's not in the verse, but it should be. So literally it skips from Matthew 20 to 22. And it was Matthew 21 and chapter 17 that's gone. And that's how you heal yourself, by fasting. And I've been doing that. I used to have all kind of body pain. Right now my shoulder hurts. But I used to have pain that I didn't know where it was coming from. Like my muscles were contracting out of control. I had to figure that out. I'm not gonna sit there and let that kill me or let that take my life. I'm not doing this. I gotta have some type of control over that. It is my body. So let me read it again. The soul always knows what to do to heal itself. The challenge is to silence the mind. Wake up is to listen to listen. Just listen to your body. Your body's telling you, aside from feeling ache, you something, hey, something. The first thing everybody does, everybody's been trained to do is do what? To go to the doctor. Go to the doctor. I had cancer. They gave me diabetes too. I don't have cancer and I don't have diabetes too. And it wasn't because of them. The cancer, of course, it was it was insane. It was insane. I wouldn't wish that upon nobody, but doctors didn't heal me. They gave me temporary solutions, and basically almost killed me with their testing because they were testing on me. I can tell. I know I'm not a nitwit. You know what I mean? I'm not a nitwit. I'm like, wait a minute. And we've had many confrontations where I was like, no, I'm not doing that. Like the insulin that they gave me without my permission because my blood level was high because they were giving me prednisone. I'm like, no, let my blood pressure go down. And it'll go down. Yeah, but you might no. So and then they said to me some outlandish thing, and they said to me more than once, which is outlandish to me. Sounds so they would say, so you're refusing? I'm like, what you mean I'm refusing? I'm saying no. That doesn't make any sense. Well, you're refusing. You got to sign. No, I don't. No, I don't. I'm gonna sign nothing. Either you're gonna take care of me, I can go somewhere else. The doctor would come in and say, Sergio, I'm not doing it. I don't care. I'm not signing nothing. They would come in there when I was totally intoxicated with painkillers, and they would ask me questions. Like I don't know. I'm not in my right mind. There were like 10 or 12 doctors early in the morning making me sign paperwork. All they were doing was collecting bills. That's all they were doing. That's all they were doing. They weren't healing me. I'm gonna tell you what the doctor told me a couple of months after. This is a this is my cancer doctor. He said something to the effect like, wow, you're still around? What? Like, you're still alive. This is what this dude said to me. And I expected that, right? Because I was watching them all along, even though I was, all the time I was drugged up with, Oxycontin because my body was in so much pain because they were giving me chemo, because they were giving me this pill. That's what it was all about. But you think I stayed there? You think I stayed in that mode of taking medications? You think I'm taking medications now? I'm not taking no medications. I'm taking whole foods, fruits, veggies. I cut out all the meats. Like I said, I'm not above eating meat. Like if I go to some place, which I don't, but if I do, and there's meat, I'm gonna eat it. But then I'm gonna detoxify my body after that. I don't go everywhere, eat anybody's food because you don't know what they're doing to it, what they put in it. You don't know none of that stuff. But when you get your own food and you cook your own food, you know exactly what's in there, where you got it from. If you get sick after eating it, you know exactly what, because if you're running around just eating and going here and going there, I don't know what, you don't know what you ate because you don't remember. You're living too fast. You're not being conscious of what's going on, what you're doing, why you're doing it, who put you're not. So they did that to me, and I undid it. I undid it. I undid the did. Recently, recently I was diagnosed with some other ailments, right? The first thing that they did, the first thing that they suggested was surgery. Now, you already probed me and looking for stuff, and then now you're telling me that I felt it. I felt that I had, a growth in my belly. I felt it. I knew there was something there, and I'm like, nah. So they're like, you got to come right away. So I had to go back to the cancer doctor. The cancer doctor they had to send the data from the examination to the doctors so that they can see what's going on, how they can help, whatever. They're constantly calling me once a week. Hey, we just wanted to know if you made your appointment to get your. I'm not getting surgery unless I can't do anything about it. Like I'm done. I'm down and out. My hands are tied, but they're not tied. My hand and my mind is not tied. So I'm looking, for medicinal. I'm looking for, how to eat. I'm eating better. Again, I don't know. I said this yesterday. I used to weigh almost 300 pounds. I'm 5'7". I'm supposed to be like 180, 170. You know how much I weigh right now? 178. I used to almost I was 260 something pounds. You want to know how I did that? By fasting, by eating correctly, by being mindful of what I put into my body. I don't eat, like Americans just eat 3 meals a day because they're told to. I eat like one time a day, but I drink, I always forget the name of these fruit shakes. So I'll give me some fruits, pomegranates, apples, lemon, papaya, and I mix them in the drink and I put some chia seeds in it. I put some cayenne pepper in it. Cayenne pepper and lemon juice, amazing. I don't use any sugar. I use raw honey and I drink that maybe in the morning. Then if depending if I ate when I ate that day before, normally I eat in the morning. So I'll make me a cup of brown rice with some sauteed mushrooms that taste like meat, by the way, and some veggies. And I mix it up. I put that down. I put the rice on it, and I'm good for the day. I'm not hungry. But what I will do if I do feel the need to eat, I'll get me an apple, a small banana, not the big bananas. I'll give me the small bananas. And all this stuff is not cheap. It's not. I'm not gonna say it's cheap. It's not cheap. Yesterday, I made some tuna fish, and I put spices in it. I put pickles, tomatoes, used microgreens, and I had grain bread that's grain. It has a little bit of yeast. I don't like to eat yeast, but man, it was delicious. First of all, I knew what was in it, which made it more delicious. And I had some vegan cheese, which because cheese clogs up your arteries, it clogs cheese, it has grease. I remember. I remember I purchased what's that meal? The spaghetti, chicken Alfredo. I ordered chicken Alfredo. I didn't eat it. I let it sit. The amount of oil that like it's separated, like the sauce and it was like one of those styrofoam delivery things. It was full of oil, and I looked at it. All I'm eating is oil. I use coconut oil to cook. I drink coconut milk. I drink almond milk, and those are all the things that help me lose the weight, lose the stress, lose the extra poundage around my belly that was causing my lower back to ache, that had that ball over here that's no longer there. So what I'm gonna do, again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not none of those things. I'm just somebody sharing my experiences of the things that I've done to improve my health in every sense, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. And you have to do these things. I'm saying if you want to be healthy, you have to go against the norm. And if that's not your thing and you want to be in the norm, fine. Hey, it's your life. So I'm going to read it again. This is a quote from Caroline Mace. I'll read who she is first of all. Is an American author, teacher, and internationally renowned speaker known for her work in the fields of human consciousness, spirituality, and energy medicine. A five-time New York Times bestselling author, she is widely considered a pioneer in the field of medical intuition. So here's her quote. The soul always knows what to do to heal itself. The challenge is to silence the mind. Silence the mind when you're distracted and you got all these pains and I have to work, I have to do this. You're not doing things that you want to do. You're being controlled to think that you need to do these things so that you can have a good life. You need health. You need spiritual discernment. you need to be aligned to your own. So this way you know what to do when you need to do it and how you need to do it and what's available for you to do it correctly. I'm saying that's important because I know how important it is for me to not just get to where I'm at right now in terms of my physical prowess, but learning, hearing, and listening to my circulatory system, to my what they call your central nervous system and my peripheral nervous system. If I have a pain here or here and what it is and how can I do, I look it up. I look it up. What can I do for this? What natural product can help me with this? Cayenne pepper, just for instance. Super spice. Super. Someone said I was having constant pain when I was overweight in my back sciatic nerve pressure. Pinched nerve, basically, right? And listen, so I was having a huge pain on my right leg from the mid of my back to the bottom underneath my foot. It was so excruciating that I went to the doctor and I was like, yeah, I need some pain pills. But pain pills are just temporary, just replaces it inhibits your uptake from your own body, makes it more powerful. But then after you're done with the pill, the pain is either more because you're not, basically it numbs you. That's what it does. And I'm like, nah, I had them, still have them, right? And I'm like, nah, I'm not. So I'm reading about all these natural remedies because I'm interested in trying to figure out a way to make myself healthy and not be on the medical system. I don't want to rely on somebody I gotta pay money to every week. I gotta refill my prescriptions. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Not at this age of my life. No. So I decided to go there. I decided to buy some spices, read some stuff, look up. So someone said that cayenne pepper takes away pain, body pain. That's something that I do not like. I had cancer for a long time and body pain. I had bone marrow cancer, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, no joke. Painful. And then I was taking like 12 pills a day. One pill was to cover the side effects of another pill, and then that other pill was doing the same. So I was taking 12 pills just to cover each. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not, no. Sorry, you got the wrong one. I'm not doing it. So cayenne pepper takes away pain. I'm like, what? What? Wait a minute. So first I got me a small one. So you got to know how to dose yourself for your pain, the level of your pain. So if you take it daily, and it kills parasites. Has a lot of, look it up. Just look it up for yourself. So I would just drink it like that. I'd make a cup of water. At first it was like a tablespoon. I mix it and I drink it. I kid you not. I kid you not. Less than maybe a lot faster than the pill. Pill usually takes what, 45 minutes, maybe an hour to kick in. This thing, cayenne pepper in water alone, was like, I could say instant, but I gotta say depending on the level of pain, and I figured that out, it would take about 15, 20 minutes, probably not even that much. So then I was like, wait a minute, am I taking small doses? Maybe I need more. So I did that. I upped it. And then what I did was I go to this lemon shop almost every day on the week that get me a lemon juice. It comes in a big cup. It's called Main Squeeze. Some of you guys have seen me there. Shout out to Sarah. She's about to have her own bouquet catering business, I think. And so the drinks are phenomenal. It's lemonade, any style. They use monk fruit sweetener because I'm not eating sugar. I'm not consuming any sugar. Even though everything has consequences. Everything in moderation. I know that. I realize that. But they were so good, and I was like, I would have like half a cup left on my way home because I would be live streaming and I'd be sipping on it. I bring it home. I brought it home one day and I had massive pain in my legs. Like that literally put me in the bed. I mean, just when I got here, because I was outside and I was active, I'm walking and I had heel pain. I was having this heel pain. So I took like a big spoon, a big heaping spoon of cayenne pepper, and I put it in the drink and I mixed it, you know, and I drank it, half of it. I had about this much. So I drank half and it was full of cayenne pepper. But the lemon and the cayenne together, ooh, very tasteful with the monk fruit. And I would say, I was in excruciating pain, but I'm doing this. I like that. Yeah, holding my legs, rubbing my legs. And literally like 15, 20 minutes later, it was gone. It was still a little slight on my calf, so I drank the rest of it. Pain was gone. Don't take my word for it. Again, I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. But if you're in chronic pain, I desire that on no one. Chronic pain is not a way to live. You cannot get used to chronic pain. I tried to because I didn't want to do no pills. I didn't want to do pills. I didn't know any other way until I started searching the web. Dr. Sebi, all these other guys that I was watching and I was following because I was interested in information that seemed to me to be more relatable than the information I was being given my whole life. And then they started talking about you can use, soursop, which was one of them that I was looking at using because when I had cancer, but at that point, I was already in the medical system. But I would reach right now for my studies, and I would reach for those natural remedies before I would go to the doctor. And listen, they're calling me. I'm not going. You're not gonna put me in that trap again. So in a couple of weeks, well, in a couple of weeks, I'm gonna go get my blood tested. And I'm pretty sure it's gonna be different because I feel it. I feel it. I would have pain in my chest. My heart, I had a heart murmur. I no longer have. Listen to what I'm saying to you. I had a heart murmur. I never had a heart murmur in my whole life. And all of a sudden, I thought it was anxiety. I did have that. That's gone. Heart murmur's gone. I can feel my insides a lot more because I'm a lot more thinner and I can feel like the rush of water when I drink it. If something is pinched, like, I feel it. I feel it and I work on it. No pain. Listen to me. No pain. Now you gotta learn the properties of these natural medicines like apples, granny apples. And again, purchasing apples that are purchasing Whole Foods is a lot more expensive than purchasing packaged, made up foods. It is. But your body will thank you for it. You will be a lot more happier. I'm telling you, you will be a lot more happier, a lot more confident, a lot more in tune with yourself, a lot more aware, a lot more just overall, like this. I'm telling you, when I was eating meat, ooh man, listen, I was eating meat not even a couple of, like last month, like I get me a whole steak delivered here, delivered, and then 2 days later, and it takes steak a long time to be digested in your system. It takes like 7 days. So imagine if you're eating 3 meals a day after you ate a piece of steak, 3 meals a day, you're never gonna stop digesting. Your body's gonna overheat and you're gonna get sick. I know because it happened to me. I gotta get in. Listen, I'm in the market for a new hat. It's supposed to look like that, but it looks like this. Because I don't know if you know, I just look how big it is. I just found out not too long ago that when you gain weight, the fat in your head also expands. So my head literally used to fit in here. Look at that. But it doesn't because I got a puny head now. Let's wait. Oh, so there you go. I hope that inspires you to at least investigate what it would be like for you to eat fruits and vegetables all day, which is what we natural people do. We eat fruits and veggies. The moment you go out and hunt your own food, you gotta skin it. First of all, you gotta hunt it. Then you gotta skin it. You gotta viscerate it. You gotta take out all the insides, and then you have to prepare it. You have to. It takes a lot of work. So that's why we didn't eat. Not that's not why, because we would do it, but we didn't have big game animals on my island. We didn't. That was brought from Spain. So there you go. Hope that made sense. I think it did. So we're just gonna finish off Numbers. We're on Numbers 17. I'm gonna read this quote again. The soul always knows what to do to heal itself. The challenge is to silence the mind by Caroline Mace. I like that quote. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna go to the Holy Bible app, and I'm gonna select Numbers, and we're just gonna finish this, and then it's gonna be a while, but that's okay. We're gonna listen to it, maybe make some comments, maybe, or just listen to it, either or. Numbers. There you go. We're on 17. No, I don't want that one. I'll do NIV. Here we go. Are you ready? I said, are you ready?
Numbers chapter 17. The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the Israelites and get 12 staffs from them, one from the leader of each of their ancestral tribes. Write the name of each man on his staff. On the staff of Levi, write Aaron's name, for there must be one staff for the head of each ancestral tribe. Place them in the tent of meeting in front of the ark of the covenant law, where I meet with you. The staff belonging to the man I choose will sprout, and I will rid myself of this constant grumbling against you by the Israelites." So Moses spoke to the Israelites, and their leaders gave him 12 staffs, one for the leader of each of their ancestral tribes, and Aaron's staff was among them. Moses placed the staffs before the Lord in the tent of the covenant law. The next day, Moses entered the tent and saw that Aaron's staff, which represented the tribe of Levi, had not only sprouted, but had budded, blossomed, and produced almonds. Then Moses brought out all the staffs from the Lord's presence to all the Israelites. They looked at them, and each of the leaders took his own staff. The Lord said to Moses, "Put back Aaron's staff in front of the ark of the covenant law, to be kept as a sign to the rebellious. This will put an end to their grumbling against me, so that they will not die." Moses did just as the Lord commanded him. The Israelites said to Moses, "We shall die. We are lost. We are all lost. Anyone who even comes near the tabernacle of the Lord will die. Are we all going to die?" Numbers chapter 18. The Lord said to Aaron, "You, your sons, and your family are to bear the responsibility for offenses connected with the sanctuary, and you and your sons alone are to bear the responsibility for offenses connected with the priesthood. Bring your fellow Levites from your ancestral tribe to join you and assist you when you and your sons minister before the tent of the covenant law. They are to be held responsible to you, and are to perform all the duties of the tent. But they must not go near the furnishings of the sanctuary or the altar. Otherwise both they and you will die. They are to join you and be responsible for the care of the tent of meeting, all the work at the tent, and no one else may come near where you are. You are to be responsible for the care of the sanctuary and the altar, so that my wrath will not fall on the Israelites again. I myself have selected your fellow Levites from among the Israelites as a gift to you, dedicated to the Lord to do the work at the tent of meeting. But only you and your sons may serve as priests in connection with everything at the altar and inside the curtain. I am giving you the service of the priesthood as a gift. Anyone else who comes near the sanctuary is to be put to death." Then the Lord said to Aaron, "I myself have put you in charge of the offerings presented to me. All the holy offerings the Israelites give me, I give to you and your sons as your portion, your perpetual share. You are to have the part of the most holy offerings that is kept from the fire. From all the gifts they bring me as most holy offerings, whether grain or sin or guilt offerings, that part belongs to you and your sons. Eat it as something most holy. Every male shall eat it. You must regard it as holy. This also is yours. Whatever is set aside from the gifts of all the wave offerings of the Israelites, I give this to you and your sons and daughters as your perpetual share. Everyone in your household who is ceremonially clean may eat it. I give you all the finest olive oil and all the finest new wine and grain they give to the Lord as the first fruits of their harvest. All the land's first fruits that they bring to the Lord will be yours. Everyone in your household who is ceremonially clean may eat it. Everything in Israel that is devoted to the Lord is yours. The first offspring of every womb, both human and animal, that is offered to the Lord is yours. But you must redeem every firstborn son and every firstborn male of unclean animals. When they are a month old, you must redeem them at the redemption price set at 5 shekels of silver, according to the sanctuary shekel, which weighs 20 gerahs. But you must not redeem the firstborn of an ox, a sheep, or a goat. They are holy. Splash their blood against the altar, and burn their fat as a food offering, an aroma pleasing to the Lord. Their meat is to be yours, just as the breast of the wave offering and the right thigh are yours.
I just want to say that listening to these sacrifices, and it just sounds, it sounds like voodoo, like like rituals, like who and that's what I've seen it before. I've seen it done, and they sacrifice animals and children because that's what he says. Your firstborn all belong to me. They're not giving up their firstborn. They're taking our firstborn. But are they still doing this? They don't follow this Bible. They don't. They follow something else. Torah, whatever. Talmud. We'll get it though. Not that we need to. I don't need to. It's just an understanding of how to discern as within, so without. That's basically what it is. But if you're listening to it, hear the words that they choose to use, how they say things, how they want things to be for the Israelites.
Whatever is set aside from the holy offerings the Israelites present to the Lord, I give to you and your sons and daughters as your perpetual share. It is an everlasting covenant of salt before the Lord, for both you and your offspring. The Lord said to Aaron, "You will have no inheritance in their land, nor will you have any share among them. I am your share and your inheritance among the Israelites. I give to the Levites all the tithes in Israel as their inheritance in return for the work they do while serving at the tent of meeting. From now on, the Israelites must not go near the tent of meeting, or they will bear the consequences of their sin and will die. It is the Levites who are to do the work at the tent of meeting and bear the responsibility for any offenses they commit against it. This is a lasting ordinance for the generations to come. They will receive no inheritance among the Israelites. Instead, I give to the Levites as their inheritance the tithes that the Israelites present as an offering to the Lord. That is why I said concerning them, they will have no inheritance among the Israelites. The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the Levites and say to them, when you receive from the Israelites the tithe I give you as your inheritance, you must present 1/10 of that tithe as the Lord's offering. Your offering will be reckoned to you."
And he's talking to the Israelites. The Israelites have to make the tithe. But this is taught in Christianity. Just saying, just an observation. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. You burr, listen twice and speak once. We are in Numbers. I'm using the NIV. We know that there are things in here that we already know that we've been reading it, for a minute already on this channel. The things that just don't make no sense at all. But it should make sense because it's spiritual, right? Of course.
Grain from the threshing floor, or juice from the winepress. In this way you also will present an offering to the Lord from all the tithes you receive from the Israelites. From these tithes you must give the Lord's portion to Aaron the priest. You must present as the Lord's portion the best and holiest part of everything given to you. Say to the Levites, when you present the best part, it will be reckoned to you as the product of the threshing floor or the winepress. You and your households may eat the rest of it anywhere, for it is your wages for your work at the tent of meeting. By presenting the best part of it, you will not be guilty in this matter. Then you will not defile the holy offerings of the Israelites, and you will not die.
You will not die.
Numbers chapter 19. The Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "This is a requirement of the law that the Lord has commanded. Tell the Israelites to bring you a red heifer without defect or blemish, and that has never been under a yoke. Give it to Eleazar the priest. It is to be taken outside the camp and slaughtered in his presence. Then Eleazar the priest is to take some of its blood on his finger and sprinkle it 7 times towards the front of the tent of meeting. While he watches, the heifer is to be burned, its hide, flesh, blood, and intestines. The priest is to take some cedar wood, hyssop, and scarlet wool, and throw them onto the burning heifer. After that, the priest must wash his clothes and bathe himself with water. He may then come into the camp, but he will be ceremonially unclean till evening. The man who burns it must also wash his clothes and bathe with water, and he too will be unclean till evening. A man who is clean shall gather up the ashes of the heifer and put them in a ceremonially clean place outside the camp. They are to be kept by the Israelite community for use in the water of cleansing. It is
BRB, be right back. Guess that's not happening. Anywho, let's continue.
for purification from sin. The man who gathers up the ashes of the heifer must also wash his clothes, and he too will be unclean till evening. This will be a lasting ordinance both for the Israelites and for the foreigners residing among them. Whoever touches a human corpse will be unclean for 7 days. They must purify themselves with the water on the 3rd day and on the 7th day. Then they will be clean. But if they do not purify themselves on the 3rd and 7th day, they will not be clean. If they fail to purify themselves after touching a human corpse, they defile the Lord's tabernacle. They must be cut off from Israel. Because the water of cleansing has not been sprinkled on them, they are unclean. Their uncleanness remains on them. This is the law that applies when a person dies in a tent. Anyone who enters the tent, and anyone who is in it, will be unclean for 7 days. And every open container without a lid fastened on it will be unclean. Anyone out in the open who touches someone who has been killed with a sword, or someone who has died a natural death, or anyone who touches a human bone or a grave, will be unclean for 7 days. For the unclean person, put some ashes from the burned purification offering into a jar, and pour fresh water over them. Then a man who is ceremonially clean is to take some hyssop, dip it in the water and sprinkle the tent and all the furnishings and the people who were there. He must also sprinkle anyone who has touched a human bone or a grave, or anyone who has been killed, or anyone who has died a natural death. The man who is clean is to sprinkle those who are unclean on the 3rd and 7th days, and on the 7th day he is to purify them. Those who are being cleansed must wash their clothes and bathe with water, and that evening they will be clean. But if those who are unclean do not purify themselves, they must be cut off from the community, because they have defiled the sanctuary of the Lord. The water of cleansing has not been sprinkled on them, and they are unclean. This is a lasting ordinance for them. The man who sprinkles the water of cleansing must also wash his clothes, and anyone who touches the water of cleansing will be unclean till evening. Anything that an unclean person touches becomes unclean, and anyone who touches it becomes unclean till evening. Numbers chapter 20. In the 1st month, the whole Israelite community arrived at the desert of Zin, and they stayed at Kadesh. There, Miriam died and was buried. Now there was no water for the community, and the people gathered in opposition to Moses and Aaron. They quarreled with Moses and said, "If only we had died when our brothers fell dead before the Lord. Why did you bring the Lord's community into this wilderness, that we and our livestock should die here? Why did you bring us up out of Egypt to this terrible place? It has no corn or figs, grapevines or pomegranates, and there is no water to drink." Moses and Aaron went from the assembly to the entrance to the tent of meeting and fell face down, and the glory of the Lord appeared to them. The Lord said to Moses, "Take the staff, and you and your brother Aaron gather the assembly together. Speak to that rock before their eyes, and it will pour out its water. You will bring water out of the rock for the community, so that they and their livestock can drink." So Moses took the staff from the Lord's presence, just as he commanded him. He and Aaron gathered the assembly together in front of the rock, and Moses said to them, "Listen, you rebels, must we bring you water out of this rock?" Then Moses raised his arm and struck the rock twice with his staff. Water gushed out, and the community and their livestock drank.
Magic.
But the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "Because you did not trust in me enough to honor me as holy in the sight of the Israelites, you will not bring this community into the land I give them." These were the waters of Meribah, where the Israelites quarreled with the Lord, and where he was proved holy among them. Moses sent messengers from Kadesh to the king of Edom, saying, "This is what your brother Israel says. You know about all the hardships that have come on us. Our ancestors went down into Egypt, and we lived there many years. The Egyptians ill-treated us and our ancestors. But when we cried out to the Lord, he heard our cry, and sent an angel and brought us out of Egypt. Now we are here at Kadesh, a town on the edge of your territory. Please let us pass through your country. We will not go through any field or vineyard or drink water from any well. We will travel the king's highway and not turn to the right or to the left until we have passed through your territory. But Edom answered, You may not pass through here. If you try, we will march out and attack you with the sword. The Israelites replied, We will go along the main road, and if we or our livestock drink any of your water, we will pay for it. We only want to pass through on foot, nothing else. Again they answered, You may not pass through. Then Edom came out against them with a large and powerful army. Since Edom refused to let them go through their territory, Israel turned away from them. The whole Israelite community set out from Kadesh and came to Mount Hor. At Mount Hor, near the border of Edom, the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, Aaron will be gathered to his people. He will not enter the land I give the Israelites, because both of you rebelled against my command at the waters of Meribah. Call Aaron and his son Eleazar, and take them up Mount Hor. Remove Aaron's garments and put them on his son Eleazar, for Aaron will be gathered to his people. He will die there. Moses did as the Lord commanded. They went up Mount Hor in the sight of the whole community. Moses removed Aaron's garments and put them on his son Eleazar, and Aaron died there on top of the mountain. Then Moses and Eleazar came down from the mountain.
So he took off his garments, gave it to Eleazar, and he just died? I don't know, that kind of, for me, it's kind of strange. He took off his garments. He didn't say that Aaron and his father executed him. A lot of things to try and be aware of, try and listen to. It's just
And when the whole community learned that Aaron had died, all the Israelites mourned for him 30 days. Numbers chapter 21. When the Canaanite king of Arad, who lived in the Negev, heard that Israel was coming along the road to Altharim, he attacked the Israelites and captured some of them. Then Israel made this vow to the Lord, If you will deliver these people into our hands, we will totally destroy their cities. The Lord listened to Israel's plea and gave the Canaanites over to them. They completely destroyed them and their towns. So the place was named Hormah. They traveled from Mount Hor along the route to the Red Sea to go round Edom. But the people grew impatient on the way. They spoke against God and against Moses and said, Why have you brought us up out of Egypt to die in the wilderness? There is no bread, there is no water, and we detest this miserable food. Then the Lord sent venomous snakes among them. They bit the people, and many Israelites died. The people came to Moses and said, We sinned when we spoke against the Lord and against you. Pray that the Lord will take the snakes away from us. So Moses prayed for the people. The Lord said to Moses, Make a snake and put it up on a pole. Anyone who is bitten can look at it and live. So Moses made a bronze snake and put it up on a pole. Then when anyone was bitten by a snake and looked at the bronze snake, they lived. The Israelites moved on and camped at Oboth. Then they set out from Oboth and camped in Abarim, in the wilderness that faces Moab towards the sunrise. From there they moved on and camped in the Zered Valley. They set out from there and camped alongside the Arnon, which is in the wilderness extending into Amorite territory. The Arnon is the border of Moab, between Moab and the Amorites. That is why the book of the wars of the Lord says, Zahab in Zuphah and the ravines, the Arnon and the slopes of the ravines that lead to the settlement of Ar and lie along the border of Moab. From there they continued on to Beer, the well where the Lord said to Moses, "Gather the people together, and I will give them water." Then Israel sang this song: "Spring up, O well, sing about the well that the princes dug, that the nobles of the people sank, the nobles with scepters and staffs." Then they went from the wilderness to Mattanah, from Mattanah to Nahaliel, from Nahaliel to Bamoth, and from Bamoth to the valley in Moab, where the top of Pisgah overlooks the wasteland. Israel sent messengers to say to Sihon, king of the Amorites, "Let us pass through your country. We will not turn aside into any field or vineyard or drink water from any well. We will travel along the king's highway until we have passed through your territory." But Sihon would not let Israel pass through his territory. He mustered his entire army and marched out into the wilderness against Israel. When he reached Jahaz, he fought with Israel. Israel, however, put him to the sword and took over his land from the Arnon to the Jabbok, but only as far as the Ammonites, because their border was fortified. Israel captured all the cities of the Amorites and occupied them, including Heshbon and all its surrounding settlements. Heshbon was the city of Sihon, king of the Amorites, who had fought against the former king of Moab, and had taken from him all his land as far as the Arnon. That is why the poets say, "Come to Heshbon and let it be rebuilt. Let Sihon's city be restored." Fire went out from Heshbon, a blaze from the city of Sihon. It consumed Ar of Moab, the citizens of Arnon's heights. Woe to you, Moab! You are destroyed, people of Chemosh. He has given up his sons as fugitives and his daughters as captives to Sihon, king of the Amorites. But we have overthrown them. Heshbon's dominion has been destroyed all the way to Dibon, and we have demolished them as far as Nophah, which extends to Medeba. So Israel settled in the land of the Amorites. After Moses had sent spies to Jazer, the Israelites captured its surrounding settlements and drove out the Amorites who were there. Then they turned and went up along the road towards Bashan. And Og, king of Bashan, and his whole army marched out to meet them in battle at Edrei. The Lord said to Moses, "Do not be afraid of him, for I have delivered him into your hands, along with his whole army and his land. Do to him what you did to Sihon, king of the Amorites." So they struck him down, together with his sons and his whole army, leaving them no survivors, and they took possession of his land. Numbers chapter 22. Then the Israelites traveled to the plains of Moab and camped along the Jordan opposite Jericho. Now Balak, son of Zippor, saw all that Israel had done to the Amorites, and Moab was terrified.
I'm not making any comments because I'm just listening to the story. For me, it seems like they're doing a lot of traveling and conquering, invading, and taking stuff that doesn't belong to them, but they're making it theirs because they believe that the Lord, their God, this land was for them. So they just had to take it. Give me that. Love you so much, bro. Listen twice and speak once. We're going to finish Numbers today because Numbers is just... I don't know anybody who studies Numbers. I'm sure there's somebody out there that does. I'm pretty sure, but it's just, they're trying to make this seem like it's factual, right? They're just nomads at this point in time, seems like to me. Trying to find their land or conquer the land that was given to them supposedly by their Lord.
Because there were so many people. Indeed, Moab was filled with dread because of the Israelites. The Moabites said to the elders of Midian, "This horde is going to lick up everything around us, as an ox licks up the grass of the field." So Balak, son of Zippor, who was king of Moab at that time, sent messengers to summon Balaam, son of Beor, who was at Pethor, near the river Euphrates, in his native land. Balak said, "A people has come out of Egypt. They cover the face of the land and have settled next to me. Now come and put a curse on these people, because they are too powerful for me. Perhaps then I will be able to defeat them and drive them out of the land. For I know that whoever you bless is blessed, and whoever you curse is cursed." The elders of Moab and Midian left, taking with them the fee for divination. When they came to Balaam, they told him what Balak had said. "Spend the night here," Balaam said to them, "and I will report back to you with the answer the Lord gives me." So the Moabite officials stayed with him. God came to Balaam and asked, "Who are these men with you?" Balaam said to God, "Balak, son of Zippor, king of Moab, sent me this message. A people that has come out of Egypt covers the face of the land. Now come and put a curse on them for me. Perhaps then I will be able to fight them and drive them away." But God said to Balaam, "Do not go with them. You must not put a curse on those people because they are blessed." The next morning Balaam got up and said to Balak's officials, "Go back to your own country, for the Lord has refused to let me go with you." So the Moabite officials returned to Balak and said, "Balaam refused to come with us." Then Balak sent other officials more numerous and more distinguished than the first. They came to Balaam and said, "This is what Balak, son of Zippor, says. Do not let anything keep you from coming to me, because I will reward you handsomely and do whatever you say. Come and put a curse on these people for me." But Balaam answered them, "Even if Balak gave me all the silver and gold in his palace, I could not do anything great or small to go beyond the command of the Lord my God. Now spend the night here so that I can find out what else the Lord will tell me." That night God came to Balaam and said, "Since these men have come to summon you, go with them, but do only what I tell you." Balaam got up in the morning, saddled his donkey, and went with the Moabite officials. But God was very angry when he went, and the angel of the Lord stood in the road to oppose him. Balaam was riding on his donkey, and his 2 servants were with him. When the donkey saw the angel of the Lord standing in the road with a drawn sword in his hand, it turned off the road into a field. Balaam beat it to get it back on the road. Then the angel of the Lord stood in a narrow path through the vineyards with walls on both sides. When the donkey saw the angel of the Lord, it pressed close to the wall, crushing Balaam's foot against it. So he beat the donkey again. Then the angel of the Lord moved on ahead and stood in a narrow place where there was no room to turn, either to the right or to the left. When the donkey saw the angel of the Lord, it lay down under Balaam. And he was angry and beat it with his staff. Then the Lord opened the donkey's mouth, and it said to Balaam, "What have I done to you to make you beat me these 3 times?"
Okay, that's possession. As we know and we've been trained to understand that possession is a spirit coming inside of you and lives and experiences life through you with its own actions, using you as a tool. That's possession of an animal, nonetheless.
Balaam answered the donkey, "You have made a fool of me. If only I had a sword in my hand, I would kill you here and now." The donkey said to Balaam, "Am I not your own donkey, which you have always ridden to this day? Have I been in the habit of doing this to you?" "No," he said. Then the Lord opened Balaam's eyes, and he saw the angel of the Lord standing in the road with his sword drawn. So he bowed low and fell face down. The angel of the Lord asked him, "Why have you beaten your donkey these 3 times? I have come here to oppose you because your path is a reckless one before me. The donkey saw me and turned away from me these 3 times. If it had not turned away, I would certainly have killed you by now, but I would have spared it." Balaam said to the angel of the Lord, "I have sinned. I did not realize you were standing in the road to oppose me. Now, if you are displeased, I will go back." The angel of the Lord said to Balaam, "Go with the men."
I also take that as animals can see in different dimensions, especially cats. They can interact with those beings if the being chooses to interact with that particular animal, and it just happened to be a donkey at that point. So he's sinning because he's being a donkey, because the donkey's making him look like a fool, but the donkey's actually preventing him from being killed. Pretty interesting.
"But speak only what I tell you." So Balaam went with Balak's officials. When Balak heard that Balaam was coming, he went out to meet him at the Moabite town on the Arnon border at the edge of his territory. Balak said to Balaam, "Did I not send you an urgent summons? Why didn't you come to me? Am I really not able to reward you?" "Well, I've come to you now," Balaam replied, "but I can't say whatever I please. I must speak only what God puts in my mouth." Then Balaam went with Balak to Kiriath-Huzoth. Balak sacrificed cattle and sheep and gave some to Balaam and the officials who were with him. The next morning, Balak took Balaam up to Bamoth Baal, and from there he could see the outskirts of the Israelite camp. Numbers chapter 23. Balaam said, "Build me 7 altars here and prepare 7 bulls and 7 rams for me." Balak did as Balaam said, and the 2 of them offered a bull and a ram on each altar. Then Balaam said to Balak, "Stay here beside your offering while I go aside. Perhaps the Lord will come to meet with me. Whatever he reveals to me, I will tell you." Then he went off to a barren height. God met with him, and Balaam said, "I have prepared 7 altars, and on each altar I have offered a bull and a ram." The Lord put a word in Balaam's mouth and said, "Go back to Balak and give him this word." So he went back to him and found him standing beside his offering with all the Moabite officials. Then Balaam spoke his message. "Balak brought me from Aram, the king of Moab from the eastern mountains. Come," he said, "curse Jacob for me. Come, denounce Israel. How can I curse those whom God has not cursed? How can I denounce those whom the Lord has not denounced? From the rocky peaks I see them. From the heights I view them. I see people who live apart and do not consider themselves one of the nations. Who can count the dust of Jacob, or number even a fourth of Israel? Let me die the death of the righteous, and may my final end be like theirs. Balak said to Balaam, "What have you done to me? I brought you to curse my enemies, but you have done nothing but bless them." He answered, "Must I not speak what the Lord puts in my mouth?" Then Balak said to him, "Come with me to another place where you can see them. You will not see them all, but only the..."
This is another thing that I've noticed as well, which is kind of funny, but not, is that nobody takes accountability of what they've done. They always say, the Lord told me to do it. It's kind of like in modern days now, when you have certain types of individuals who are like a cancer, a particular cancer that can be seen in the local news, like someone who's a serial killer, and then or someone who has taken mass individuals under their wing and teaching them a certain way, teach them certain. They all have that same statement. It was the word of the Lord, the guidance of the Lord. Now this could be true. I say that Yahweh is guiding me, but this is, he's doing things that he's telling them that he wasn't going to do, but he's doing it. And yet he's just saying, the Lord told me to do it, so I did it. I just find that funny, right? Like I say, Father, here's my path, here's my day, you take that over. And then anything that comes after that, I'm duly responsible for it. And I accept that because that's my actions. And if he's giving me permission to do so, do I have the morality and ethics to say to myself, man, or to him say, I don't think that's right. No, but you must obey. At the cost of what? At the cost of whatever I say. I I think that that's blind faith. I don't know if I can follow along with that. Harming others and causing chaos to others in the name of the Lord. That in itself for me I don't resonate with that. I just don't. Like why would you want to do that? Like, can't you just tell them, hey, don't do this, and if you do, there's going to be punishment, but then put them to death immediately, take their land immediately. It's just harsh. Like, a lot of people say that the devil killed less people in the Bible. I don't think he killed any than God himself. I'm just saying. That's what I've heard. And I'm a little exhausted, as you can tell. I'm laying back because I had a long night, but had a long week. Spiritual battle is extremely relevant in my life right now. And I'm okay. I'm fine with that. I got to do what I got to do. But again, it just seems kind of counter counterintuitive of what I was taught that God is benevolent, he's loving, however he is jealous. But re-listening to this stuff which I haven't, this is my first time listening to the whole thing, because again, we compartmentalize information to control others. We're going to give you this portion, this portion. You have the Bible in your hand, but you're not interested in reading it. You're just interested in feeling, going to the church, listen to the pastor, doing all the community stuff in the church, but you're not really in the Bible. Excuse me. You're just blindly being led into something that's not good, but you don't know it. You think you play it off. You got that mask on. I'm gonna go to church or anything, but you don't know nothing about nothing because they're not telling you nothing. They don't want to tell you this part. Read it for yourself, and you know, read it in spirituality. Ask Yahweh for spiritual discernment. And we didn't do that, but Father, please give us spiritual discernment while we listen to this scripture and help us learn and understand in the most jovial, peaceful, tranquil light that we can. Let's go. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, you bro. Wake up, wake up. I gotta wake up, wake up. Listen twice and speak once.
Outskirts of their camp, and from there curse them for me. So he took him to the field of Zophim on the top of Pisgah, and there he built 7 altars and offered a bull and a ram on each altar. Balaam said to Balak, "Stay here beside your offering, while I meet with him over there." The Lord met with Balaam and put a word in his mouth and said, "Go back to Balak and give him this word." So he went to him and found him standing beside his offering with the Moabite officials. Balak asked him, "What did the Lord say?" Then he spoke his message. "Arise, Balak, and listen. Hear me, son of Zippor. God is not human, that he should lie, not a human being, that he should change his mind. Does he speak and then not act? Does he promise and not fulfill? I have received a command to bless. He has blessed, and I cannot change it. No misfortune is seen in Jacob, no misery observed in Israel. The Lord their God is with them. The shout of the king is among them. God brought them out of Egypt. They have the strength of a wild ox. There is no divination against Jacob, no evil omens against Israel. It will now be said of Jacob and of Israel, see what God has done. The people rise like a lioness. They rouse themselves like a lion that does not rest till it devours its prey and drinks the blood of its victims. Then Balak said to Balaam, neither curse them at all, nor bless them at all. Balaam answered, did I not tell you I must do whatever the Lord says? Then Balak said to Balaam, come, let me take you to another place. Perhaps it will please God to let you curse them for me from there. And Balak took Balaam to the top of Peor, overlooking the wasteland.
So the Lord is pleased by you cursing someone else. Perhaps our Lord would be pleased if I curse them for him. What? I'm just saying, haven't you been taught to not curse others? This is the Old Testament again. That's evil. Cursing someone is not good. But cursing someone, that's really hardcore. But cursing someone in the name of the Lord is okay. Because the Lord said so. Wake up, wake up. Love you so natural. Listen twice and speak once. Thank you for joining. We're still going on. We're on chapter 23. We got a bit more to go. But we'll be done soon today. We will be done today's Sabbath. We're studying and resting and relaxing. I'm going to go get some coffee. I'll be right back. Wish I had some elevator music, but I don't. But I'll be right back. Love you so much, bro. Hang tight. got my coffee.
Balaam said, "Build me 7 altars here, and prepare 7 bulls and 7 rams for me." Balak did as Balaam had said, and offered a bull and a ram on each altar. Numbers chapter 24. Now when Balaam saw that it pleased the Lord to bless Israel, he did not resort to divination as at other times, but turned his face toward the wilderness. When Balaam looked out and saw Israel encamped, tribe by tribe, the Spirit of God came on him, and he spoke his message. The prophecy of Balaam, son of Beor, the prophecy of one whose eye sees clearly, the prophecy of one who hears the words of God, who sees a vision from the Almighty, who falls prostrate and whose eyes are opened. How beautiful are your tents, Jacob, your dwelling places, Israel. Like valleys they spread out, like gardens beside a river, like aloes planted by the Lord, like cedars beside the waters. Water will flow from their buckets, their seed will have abundant water. Their king will be greater than Agag, their kingdom will be exalted. God brought them out of Egypt, they have the strength of a wild ox. They devour hostile nations and break their bones in pieces. With their arrows they pierce them. Like a lion they crouch and lie down. Like a lioness. Who dares to rouse them? May those who bless you be blessed, and those who curse you be cursed. Then Balak's anger burned against Balaam. He struck his hands together and said to him, "I summoned you to curse my enemies, but you have blessed them these 3 times. Now leave at once and go home. I said I would reward you handsomely, but the Lord has kept you from being rewarded." Balaam answered Balak, "Did I not tell the messengers you sent me? Even if Balak gave me all the silver and gold in his palace, I could not do anything of my own accord, good or bad, to go beyond the command of the Lord. And I must say only what the Lord says. Now I am going back to my people, but come, let me warn you of what this people will do to your people in days to come." Then he spoke his message. The prophecy of Balaam, son of Beor, the prophecy of one whose eye sees clearly, the prophecy of one who hears the words of God, who has knowledge from the Most High, who sees a vision from the Almighty, who falls prostrate, and whose eyes are opened. I see him, but not now. I behold him, but not near. A star will come out of Jacob, a scepter will rise out of Israel. He will crush the foreheads of Moab, the skulls of all the people of Sheth. Edom will be conquered. Seir, his enemy, will be conquered. But Israel will grow strong. A ruler will come out of Jacob and destroy the survivors of the city. Then Balaam saw Amalek and spoke his message. Amalek was first among the nations, but their end will be utter destruction. Then he saw the Kenites and spoke his message. Your dwelling place is secure. Your nest is set in a rock. Yet you Kenites will be destroyed when Ashur takes you captive. Then he spoke his message. Alas, who can live when God does this? Ships will come from the shores of Cyprus. They will subdue Ashur and Eber, but they too will come to ruin. Then Balaam got up and returned home, and Balak went his own way. Numbers chapter 25. While Israel was staying in Shittim.
By the way, the title of chapter 25 is Moab Seduces Israel.
The men began to indulge in sexual immorality with Moabite women, who invited them to the sacrifices to their gods. The people ate the sacrificial meal and bowed down before these gods. So Israel yoked themselves to the Baal of Peor, and the Lord's anger burned against them.
I need that. I need to look at that. So this is Numbers 25. Verse 3. So Israel Isis, Ra, and Elohim, or El, I don't know, that's what they say, yoked themselves to the Baal of Peor. And the Lord's anger burned against them.
The Lord said to Moses, "Take all the leaders of these people, kill them, and expose them in broad daylight before the Lord, so that the Lord's fierce anger may turn away from Israel." So Moses said to Israel's judges, "Each of you must put to death those of your people who have yoked themselves to the Baal of Peor." Then an Israelite man brought into the camp a Midianite woman right before the eyes of Moses and the whole assembly of Israel, while they were weeping at the entrance to the tent of meeting. When Phinehas, son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron the priest, saw this, he left the assembly, took a spear in his hand, and followed the Israelite into the tent. He drove the spear into both of them, right through the Israelite man and into the woman's stomach. Then the plague against the Israelites was stopped. But those who died in the plague numbered 24,000.
Wow.
The Lord said to Moses, "Phinehas, son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron the priest, has turned my anger away from the Israelites. Since he was as zealous for my honor among them as I am, I did not put an end to them in my zeal. Therefore tell him, I am making my covenant of peace with him. He and his descendants will have a covenant of a lasting priesthood, because he was zealous for the honor of his God, and made atonement for the Israelites." The name of the Israelite who was killed with the Midianite woman was Zimri, son of Salu, the leader of a Simeonite family. And the name of the Midianite woman who was put to death was Cosbi, daughter of Zur, a tribal chief of a Midianite family. The Lord said to Moses, "Treat the Midianites as enemies and kill them. They treated you as enemies when they deceived you with the Peor incident involving their sister Cosbi."
Everybody and anybody that opposes the Lord is getting murked. You can see anything that they doing against me, kill them. They doing this, kill them. They doing this, assassinate them, get rid of them. There's no opposition. None. There should be none. Kill. What did he say? Kill him. What did he do? Kill him. What she say? What she do? Kill him. Kill, 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 kill. That's the answer here. Everybody's getting killed. Like, listen, man. All right, I made a mistake. Nope. You already knew. So here's kind of what I'm getting out of that. You already knew. We already practiced this. We already told you about it, but you violated. You know what that means. Off with your head. Ruthless. There's no mercy there or benevolence. None. Only for the Israelites. He's sacrificing and giving everything and killing everything. And the Lord, their Lord, running them into the ground. Give me this, give me that, give me that. And I'm killing everybody. That's what it seems like to me. Right? Like in modern day mental, right? Like I got this, these are my people. What did he say? What? Off with his head. What did he say? Off. Like, what's he do? What he do? Wow. That's really harsh and really something to look into. Like, this guy was just getting rid of everybody. I think he killed 24,000. I think, if I'm not mistaken. Well, he didn't do it. He had others do it. Just killing everything. He's like a mass murderer at this point. That's what I'm looking at. He's just on a mass murder spree. Kill everybody that's not down with the get down.
The daughter of a Midianite leader, the woman who was killed when the plague came as a result of that incident. Numbers chapter 26. After the plague, the Lord said to Moses and Eleazar, son of Aaron, the priest, take a census of the whole Israelite community by...
And another thing, these chapters are really long. Like, we've been here for an hour and 44 minutes. Of course, I had my intro, I was talking, blah, 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 whatever. Good. But these things, each one is 25, 30, sometimes even I believe, not that I believe, I may not say that, but possibly like 32 verses per chapter. That's, and it's taking a long time to finish. I'm falling asleep. I had to go get some more coffee. People are not, listening because nobody listens anymore. But it's pretty, wow. Like, I'm getting that just, and I know somebody's gonna have a different opinion. That's okay. I appreciate that and I welcome it. But for me, it's just like, listen, you're not down with the get down. See you later. Off with what you do. Just offing everybody, just like a big mafia boss. Hey, what you do? Hey, what you say? Hey, you said that you don't want to follow my covenant. Hey, yo, get rid of him. Hey, Tony, put him in the river with the fishes. That's what he's doing. Rhyme or reason, just for the Israelites, so that they can see that he's all powerful, but that he's doing it through them, or so that they say.
Families. All those 20 years old or more who were able to serve in the army of Israel. So on the plains of Moab by the Jordan opposite Jericho, Moses and Eleazar the priest spoke with them and said, take a census of men 20 years old or more, as the Lord commanded Moses. These were the Israelites who came out of Egypt. The descendants of Reuben, the firstborn son of Israel, were, through Hanok, the Hanokite clan, through Palu, the Paluite clan, through Hezron, the Hezronite clan, through Carmi, the Carmite clan. These were the clans of Reuben. Those numbered were 43,730. The son of Palu was Eliab. The sons of Eliab were Nemuel, Dathan, and Abiram. The same Dathan and Abiram were the community officials who rebelled against Moses and Aaron, and were among Korah's followers when they rebelled against the Lord. The earth opened its mouth and swallowed them along with Korah, whose followers died when the fire devoured the 250 men, and they served as a warning sign. The line of Korah, however, did not die out. The descendants of Simeon by their clans were, through Nemuel, the Nemuelite clan, through Jamin, the Jaminite clan, through Jachin, the Jachinite clan, through Zerah, the Zerahite clan, through Sheol, the Sheolite clan. These were the clans of Simeon. Those numbered were 22,200. The descendants of Gad by their clans were, through Zephon, the Zephonite clan, through Haggai, the Haggite clan, through Shunai, the Shunite clan, through Ozni, the Oznite clan, through Eri, the Erite clan, through Arodai, the Arodite clan, through Areli, the Arelite clan. These were the clans of Gad. Those numbered were 40,500. And Onan were sons of Judah, but they died in Canaan. The descendants of Judah by their clans were, through Shelah, the Shelahite clan, through Perez, the Perezite clan, through Zerah, the Zerahite clan. The descendants of Perez were, through Hezron, the Hezronite clan, through Hamul, the Hamulite clan. These were the clans of Judah. Those numbered 76,500. The descendants of Issachar by their clans were, through Tola, the Tolaite clan, through Puah, the Puahite clan, through Jashab, the Jashabite clan, through Shimron, the Shimronite clan. These were the clans of Issachar. Those numbered were 64,300. The descendants of Zebulun by their clans were, through Sered, the Seredite clan, through Elon, the Elonite clan, through Jaliel, the Jalielite clan. These were the clans of Zebulun. Those numbered were 60,500. The descendants of Joseph by their clans through Manasseh and Ephraim were, the descendants of Manasseh through Machir, the Machirite clan. Machir was the father of Gilead. Through Gilead, the Gileadite clan. These were the descendants of Gilead. Through Iezer, the Iezerite clan. Through Helek, the Helekite clan. Through Asriel, the Asrielite clan. Through Shechem, the Shechemite clan. Through Shemida, the Shemidite clan. Through Hepher, the Hepherite clan. Zelophehad, son of Hepher, had no sons. He had only daughters, whose names were Mahlah, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. These were the clans of Manasseh. Those numbered were 52,700. These were the descendants of Ephraim by their clans. Through Shuthelah, the Shuthelahite clan. Through Becher, the Becherite clan. Through Tehan, the Tehanite clan. These were the descendants of Shuthelah. Through Eron, the Eronite clan. These were the clans of Ephraim. Those numbered were 32,500. These were the descendants of Joseph by their clans. The descendants of Benjamin by their clans were, through Bela, the Belaite clan, through Ashbel, the Ashbelite clan, through Ahiram, the Ahiramite clan, through Shufam, the Shufamite clan, through Hupham, the Huphamite clan. The descendants of Bela through Ard and Naaman were, through Ard, the Ardite clan, through Naaman, the Naamite clan. These were the clans of Benjamin. Those numbered were 45,600. These were the descendants of Dan by their clans, through Shuham, the Shuhamite clan. These were the clans of Dan. All of them were Shuhamite clans, and those numbered were 64,400. The descendants of Asher by their clans were, through Imnah, the Imnite clan, through Ishvi, the Ishvite clan, through Beriah, the Beriahite clan, and through the descendants of Beriah, through Heber, the Heberite clan, through Malkiel, the Malkielite clan. Asher had a daughter named Sirah. These were the clans of Asher. Those numbered were 53,400. The descendants of Naphtali by their clans were, through Jaziel, the Jazielite clan, through Gunai, the Gunite clan, through Jezer, the Jezerite clan, through Shillem, the Shillemite clan. These were the clans of Naphtali. Those numbered were 45,400. The total number of the men of Israel was 601,730. The Lord said to Moses, "The land is to be allotted to them as an inheritance based on the number of names. To a larger group, give a larger inheritance, and to a smaller group, a smaller one. Each is to receive its inheritance according to the number of those listed. Be sure that the land is distributed by lot. What each group inherits will be according to the names for its ancestral tribe. Each inheritance is to be distributed by lot among the larger and smaller groups." These were the Levites who were counted by their clans. Through Gershon, the Gershonite clan. Through Kohath, the Kohathite clan. Through Merari, the Merarite clan. These also were Levite clans, the Libnite clan, the Hebronite clan, the Marlite clan. the Mushite clan, the Korahite clan. Kohath was the forefather of Amram. The name of Amram's wife was Jochebed, a descendant of Levi who was born to the Levites in Egypt. To Amram she bore Aaron, Moses, and their sister Miriam. Aaron was the father of Nadab and Abihu, Eleazar and Ithamar. But Nadab and Abihu died when they made an offering before the Lord with unauthorized fire. All the male Levites a month old or more numbered 23,000. They were not counted along with the other Israelites because they received no inheritance among them. These are the ones counted by Moses and Eleazar the priest when they counted the Israelites on the plains of Moab by the Jordan opposite Jericho. Not one of them was among those counted by Moses and Aaron the priest when they counted the Israelites in the desert of Sinai. For the Lord had told those Israelites they would surely die in the wilderness, and not one of them was left except Caleb, son of Jephunneh, and Joshua, son of Nun. Numbers chapter 27. The daughters of Zelophehad, son of Hepher, the son of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, belonged to the clans of Manasseh, son of Joseph. The names of the daughters were Mahlah, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah.
Mika.
They came forward and stood before Moses, Eleazar the priest, the leaders, and the whole assembly at the entrance to the tent of meeting, and said, "Our father died in the wilderness. He was not among Korah's followers who banded together against the Lord, but he died for his own sin and left no sons. Why should our father's name disappear from his clan, because he had no son? Give us property among our father's relatives." So Moses brought their case before the Lord, and the Lord said to him, "What Zelophehad's daughters are saying is right. You must certainly give them property as an inheritance among their father's relatives, and give their father's inheritance to them. Say to the Israelites, if a man dies and leaves no son, give his inheritance to his daughter. If he has no daughter, give his inheritance to his brothers. If he has no brothers, give his inheritance to his father's brothers. If his father had no brothers, give his inheritance to the nearest relative in his clan, that he may possess it. This is to have the force of law for the Israelites, as the Lord commanded Moses." Then the Lord said to Moses, "Go up this mountain in the Abarim range, and see the land I have given the Israelites. After you have seen it, you too will be gathered to your people as your brother Aaron was. For when the community rebelled at the waters in the desert of Zin, both of you disobeyed my command to honor me as holy before their eyes." These were the waters of Meribah Kadesh in the desert of Zin. Moses said to the Lord, "May the Lord, the God who gives breath to all living things, appoint someone over this community to go out and come in before them, one who will lead them out and bring them in, so that the Lord's people will not be like sheep without a shepherd." So the Lord said to Moses, "Take Joshua, son of Nun, a man in whom is the spirit of leadership, and lay your hand on him. Make him stand before Eleazar the priest and the entire assembly, and commission him in their presence. Give him some of your authority, so that the whole Israelite community will obey him. He is to stand before Eleazar the priest, who will obtain decisions for him by inquiring of the Urim before the Lord. At his command, he and the entire community of the Israelites will go out, and at his command, they will come in." Moses did as the Lord commanded him. He took Joshua and made him stand before Eleazar the priest and the whole assembly. Then he laid his hands on him and commissioned him, as the Lord instructed through Moses. Numbers chapter 28.
Daily offerings.
The Lord said to Moses, Give this command to the Israelites, and say to them, make sure that you present to me at the appointed time my food offerings as an aroma pleasing to me. Say to them, this is the food offering you are to present to the Lord. 2 lambs a year old without defect as a regular burnt offering each day. Offer 1 lamb in the morning and the other at twilight, together with a grain offering of 1/10 of an ephah of the finest flour, mixed with 1/4 of a hin of oil from pressed olives. This is the regular burnt offering instituted at Mount Sinai as a pleasing aroma, a food offering presented to the Lord. The accompanying drink offering is to be 1/4 of a hin of fermented drink with each lamb. Pour out the drink offering to the Lord at the sanctuary. Offer the 2nd lamb at twilight, along with the same kind of grain offering and drink offering that you offer in the morning. This is a food offering, an aroma pleasing to the Lord. On the Sabbath day, make an offering of 2 lambs a year old without defect, together with its drink offering, and a grain offering of 1/5 of an ephah of the finest flour mixed with olive oil. This is the burnt offering for every Sabbath, in addition to the regular burnt offering and its drink offering. On the 1st of every month, present to the Lord a burnt offering of 2 young bulls, 1 ram, and 7 male lambs a year old, all without defect. With each bull there is to be a grain offering of 3/10 of an ephah of the finest flour mixed with oil. With the ram, a grain offering of 1/5 of an ephah of the finest flour mixed with oil. And with each lamb, a grain offering of 1/10 of an ephah of the finest flour mixed with oil. This is for a burnt offering, a pleasing aroma, a food offering presented to the Lord. With each bull, there is to be a drink offering of 1/2 a hin of wine. With a ram, 1/3 of a hin, and with each lamb, 1/4 of a hin. This is the monthly burnt offering to be made at each new moon during the year. Besides the regular burnt offering with its drink offering, 1 male goat is to be presented to the Lord as a sin offering. On the 14th day of the 1st month, the Lord's Passover is to be held. On the 15th day of this month, there is to be a festival. For 7 days eat bread made without yeast. On the 1st day hold a sacred assembly, and do not do any of your ordinary work. Present to the Lord a food offering consisting of a burnt offering of 2 young bulls, 1 ram, and 7 male lambs a year old, all without defect. With each bull, offer a grain offering of 3/10 of an ephah of the finest flour mixed with oil. With the ram, 1/5, and with each of the 7 lambs, 1/10. Include 1 male goat as a sin offering to make atonement for you. Offer these in addition to the regular morning burnt offerings. In this way, present the food offering every day for 7 days as an aroma pleasing to the Lord. It is to be offered in addition to the regular burnt offering and its drink offering. On the 7th day, hold a sacred assembly and do not do any ordinary work. On the day of first fruits, when you present to the Lord an offering of new grain during the festival of weeks, hold a sacred assembly and do not do any of your ordinary work. Present a burnt offering of 2 young bulls, 1 ram, and 7 male lambs a year old as an aroma pleasing to the Lord. With each bull there is to be a grain offering of 3/10 of an ephah of the finest flour mixed with oil. With the ram, 1/5, and with each of the 7 lambs, 1/10. Include 1 male goat to make atonement for you. Offer these together with their drink offerings, in addition to the regular burnt offering and its grain offering. Be sure the animals are without defect.
So much sacrifice, so much giving.
Numbers chapter
I
29.
don't know how they're doing it.
On the 1st day of the 7th month, hold a sacred assembly and do not do any of your ordinary work. It is a day for you to sound the trumpets. As an aroma pleasing to the Lord, offer a burnt offering of 1 young bull, 1 ram, and 7 male lambs a year old, all without defect. With the bull, offer a grain offering of 3/10 of an ephah of the finest flour mixed with olive oil. With the ram, 1/5. And with each of the 7 lambs, 1/10.
Wow.
Include 1
Incredible.
male goat as a sin offering to make atonement for you. These are in addition to the monthly and daily burnt offerings with their grain offerings and drink offerings as specified. They are food offerings presented to the Lord, a pleasing aroma. On the 10th day of the 7th month, hold a sacred assembly. You must deny yourselves and do no work. Present as an aroma pleasing to the Lord a burnt offering of 1 young bull, 1 ram, and 7 male lambs a year old, all without defect.
The Lord requires this through this reading, through the numbers, by the Israelites. Has nothing to do with you or me. We ain't Israelites. A lot of people say we're Israelites. I just want to show me. Show me. I'm from the show me state. This is for the Israelites in a different land, not this one. But everything's coming out. So let's see if somebody can define this. Like, we don't have to do this, but we do it for them, and then they do it. You understand what I'm saying to you there? Hope you do. You understand?
With the bull, offer a grain offering of 3/10 of an ephah of the finest flour mixed with oil. With the ram, 1/5. And with each of the 7 lambs, 1/10. Include 1 male goat as a sin offering, in addition to the sin offering for atonement, and the regular burnt offering with its grain offering and their drink offerings. On the 15th day of the 7th month, hold a sacred assembly, and do not do any ordinary work. Celebrate a festival to the Lord for 7 days. Present as an aroma pleasing to the Lord a food offering consisting of a burnt offering of 13 young bulls, 2 rams, and 14 male lambs a year old, all without defect. With each of the 13 bulls, offer a grain offering of 3/10 of an ephah of the finest flour mixed with oil. With each of the 2 rams, 1/5, and with each of the 14 lambs, 1/10. Include 1 male goat as a sin offering, in addition to the regular burnt offering with its grain offering and drink offering. On the 2nd day, offer 12 young bulls, 2 rams, and 14 male lambs a year old, all without defect. With the bulls, rams, and lambs, offer their grain offerings and drink offerings according to the number specified. Include 1 male goat as a sin offering, in addition to the regular burnt offering with its grain offering and their drink offerings. On the 3rd day, offer 11 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 male lambs a year old, all without defect. With the bulls, rams, and lambs, offer their grain offerings and drink offerings according to the number specified. Include 1 male goat as a sin offering, in addition to the regular burnt offering with its grain offering and drink offering. On the 4th day, offer 10 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 male lambs a year old, all without defect. With the bulls, rams, and lambs, offer their grain offerings and drink offerings according to the number specified. Include 1 male goat as a sin offering, in addition to the regular burnt offering with its grain offering and drink offering. On the 5th day, offer 9 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 male lambs a year old, all without defect.
This is a lot of animals. They must have had billions of animals to do this every day. How long did they do this for? Every day, every month. Now he wants 9 bulls, 2 rams, 14 male lambs, a year old, all without defect. With the bulls, rams, and lambs, are for their grain offerings and drink offering according. This guy, if this was a guy, like they say it's not, but if it was, he's super rich. He got all their livestock, all of the, some they burnt the ones that got the firstborns, the healthiest ones. This is madness. I'm just saying.
With the bulls, rams, and lambs, offer their grain offerings and drink offerings according to the number specified. Include one male goat as a sin offering, in addition to the regular burnt offering with its grain offering and drink offering. On the 6th day, offer 8 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 male lambs a year old, all without defect. With the bulls, rams, and lambs, offer their grain offerings and drink offerings according to the number specified. Include one male goat as a sin offering, in addition to the regular burnt offering with its grain offering and drink offering.
Dang.
On the 7th day, offer 7
On the
bulls,
7th day, I'm broke
2
right now.
rams, and 14 male lambs a year old, all without defect. With the bulls, rams, and lambs, offer their grain offerings and drink offerings according to the number specified. Include one male goat as a sin offering, in addition to the regular burnt offering with its grain offering and drink offering. On the 8th day, hold a closing special assembly, and do not do any of your ordinary work. Present as an aroma pleasing to the Lord a food offering consisting of a burnt offering of 1 bull, 1 ram, and 7 male lambs a year old, all without defect. With the bull, the ram, and the lambs, offer their grain offerings and drink offerings according to the number specified. Include 1 male goat as a sin offering, in addition to the regular burnt offering with its grain offering and drink offering. In addition to what you vow,
it's good. Thank you.
and your free will offerings.
Thank you for asking. We've been here since 8 o'clock. It is now 10:52, almost 11. We're finishing Numbers, which is a really interesting chapter in the Bible. A lot of sacrifices, a lot of land taking, a lot of killing, So just going through that, because that's what we're doing, trying to read the entire Bible, get our understanding as much as we can, and run with that to align ourselves with our spirit, soul, and upper mind. I hope you're having a great day, and thank you for saying hello. Cool, you got some good rest. I'm about to go back to sleep. Once I'm done here with this, I just said I was gonna finish it. I'm gonna finish it. We got a couple more chapters to go, and I'm gonna take a nap. Still early. Probably go outside about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock for a while, just to get some fresh air, get some sun. But yeah, this is Numbers is interesting. So let's finish. Thank you for coming in and saying hello. I appreciate you. God bless.
Offer these to the Lord at your appointed festivals.
Praise be to Yahweh.
Your burnt offerings, grain offerings, drink offerings, and fellowship offerings. Moses told the Israelites all that
Thank you for the like. I appreciate it.
Numbers chapter 30.
Vows. This is vows.
Moses said to the heads of the tribes of Israel, "This is what the Lord commands. When a man makes a vow to the Lord or takes an oath to bind himself by a pledge, he must not break his word, but must do everything he said. When a young woman still living in her father's household makes a vow to the Lord or binds herself by a pledge, and her father hears about her vow or pledge, but says nothing to her, then all her vows and every pledge by which she bound herself will stand. But if her father forbids her when he hears about it, none of her..."
That's a good question. I think I've been doing this for 5 years. Yeah, not this particular type of content. I was playing, this channel used to be a video game channel, and here's the hat that I got for it. I had a couple of others, and I got a shirt. So it was OG Gaming. And then I changed it to Love Your Soul, Not Your Role. Of course, I did have a channel specifically for this type of content, but I switched it over. Right now I'm playing God of War 2018, but I played Doom, which was great. I got a whole library on that. Ratchet and Clank, God of War Ragnarok, God of War 2018, Borderlands, a couple others. It's there. You can see it. But thank you.
Vows or the pledges by which she bound herself will stand. The Lord will release her because her father has forbidden her. If she
Yeah.
marries after she makes a vow,
COD. Yeah.
or after her
Battlefield
lips
is my
utter a
favorite.
rash promise by which she binds herself,
4.
and her husband hears about it but says nothing to her, then her vows or the pledges by which she bound herself will stand. But if her husband forbids her when he hears about it, he nullifies the vow that binds her, or the rash promise by which she binds herself, and the Lord will release her. Any vow or obligation taken by a widow or divorced woman will be binding on her. If a woman living with her husband makes a vow or binds herself by a pledge under oath, and her husband hears about it but says nothing to her and does not forbid her, then all her vows or the pledges by which she bound herself will stand. But if her husband nullifies them when he hears about them, then none of the vows or pledges that came from her lips will stand. Her husband has nullified them, and the Lord will release her. Her husband may confirm or nullify any vow she makes or any sworn pledge to deny herself. But if her husband says nothing to her about it from day to day, then he confirms all her vows or the pledges binding on her. He confirms them by saying nothing to her when he hears about them. If, however, he nullifies them sometime after he hears about them, then he must bear the consequences of her wrongdoing. These are the regulations the Lord gave Moses concerning relationships between a man and his wife, and between a father and his young daughter still living at home. Numbers chapter
Hey, what's up,
31.
man? How are you?
The Lord said to Moses, "Take vengeance on the Midianites for the Israelites. After that, you will be gathered to your people." So Moses said to the people, "Arm some of your men to go to war against the Midianites, so that they may carry out the Lord's vengeance on them.
We're almost
Send
finished.
into battle 1,000 men from each of the tribes."
We're almost done. We're on chapter 31. There are 37 chapters, I think 36. So Numbers will be done. Numbers was a lot of things that I didn't agree with, but then again, it doesn't matter. A lot of murder, a lot of killing, a lot of sacrificing, a lot of give me this so I can give you that, taking over other people's lands. Really, just something that we weren't told when I was going to church. I never told about this. Yeah, I always wanted to point out something that you were doing wrong. It was a Pentecostal church, by the way. Been to Catholic, been to Muslim mosque, I've been to Orthodox, Christian, been to all of them. No, 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 no. What was I saying? This way? But I'm reason why I'm reading this because I want to understand for myself. I don't want to be driven by someone who has their own agenda, what they want me to be to follow for their own benefit. Kind of like what's happening with these folks here, the Israelites. They got to do all of this stuff, a lot of stuff. Yes, it's the NIV, which is missing a lot of information, interpreted differently. Pretty pretty sad, but it's the information that is being given to us. KJV is a lot more direct, supposedly, from the information that was extracted from the old scriptures. So this is Numbers 31.
Tribes of Israel. So 12,000 men armed for battle, 1,000 from each tribe, were supplied from the clans of Israel. Moses sent them into battle, 1,000 from each tribe, along with Phinehas, son of Eleazar the priest, who took with him articles from the sanctuary and the trumpets for signaling. They fought against Midian as the Lord commanded Moses, and killed every man. Among their victims were Evi, Rechem, Zur, Hur, and Reba, the 5 kings of Midian. They also killed Balaam, son of Beor, with the sword. The Israelites captured the Midianite women and children, and took all the Midianite herds, flocks, and goods as plunder. They burned all the towns where the Midianites had settled, as well as all their camps. They took all the plunder and spoils, including the people and animals, and brought the captives, spoils, and plunder to Moses and Eleazar the priest.
Thank you.
And the Israelite assembly at their camp on the plains of Moab,
awesome.
by the Jordan,
Appreciate
opposite
it.
Jericho. Moses, Eleazar the priest, and all the leaders of the community went to meet them outside the camp. Moses was angry with the officers of the army, the commanders of thousands and commanders of hundreds, who returned from the battle. "Have you allowed all the women to live?" he asked them. They were the ones who followed Balaam's advice and enticed the Israelites to be unfaithful to the Lord in the Peor incident, so that a plague struck the Lord's people. Now kill all the boys, and kill every woman who has slept with a man.
See?
But save for yourselves every girl who has never slept with a man.
Nothing but killing.
Anyone who has killed someone or touched.
He's saying kill all of these people, but save yourselves every girl who has never slept with a man. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking what I used to see when I used to watch old medieval movies when they pillage and plunder a village. Pillage and plunder, that's what it sounds like to me. Maybe because I've been colonialized and my people have been treated the same way, I have that mentality. I don't know. But what I'm listening to and what I'm reading is kind of still goes on today.
Someone who was killed must stay outside the camp 7 days. On the 3rd and 7th days, you must purify yourselves and your captives. Purify every garment as well as everything made of leather, goat hair, or wood.
Thank you for that question.
Then Eleazar the priest.
I don't do Christmas, man. I'll be here reading, doing spiritual cleansing, learning, and relaxing because I don't have to work. So I'll be at the park doing live streams. I'll be writing stuff down. I'll be studying. Same thing. Resting, working out, eating right. Nah, man, I don't do any of those things. I used to. I did about 2 years ago. I was married. Still kind of hits them to getting a divorce. So she's Catholic, I think she was. And we used to decorate. And I was doing it for her because, that's what she liked to do. And I would do it for her. I put up the lights and I'd get the Christmas tree. But I know what it all means. It doesn't mean what it means to me, what it means to everybody else. So, but thank you for that question. I appreciate that. On my Facebook, which is not here, I'm getting there. I spoke to a lawyer last week. Paid $26 for the consultation, but this guy wanted 4,000. He wanted like $8,900 for for taking the case, and then for being to the court. So I'm gonna do it on my own. I'm going pro bono. I have to purchase the paperwork again here in the new county that I live in, and I have to process it. So I'm gonna do that on my own. Yeah, man. not fun. It's not a good thing. It's always sad. It's always, but sometimes people grow into their own and don't want to be part of that dynamic anymore, or other things, other things that transpire that lead to a divorce. And sorry that you had to witness that. It's not fun. So that's another thing that we talk about too. Is if you're true to yourself, then and you are in your grind, in your alignment, Father's going to supply you with all the things that you need, especially relationships and people. You don't have to look for them. He will give them to you. When you look for something that you think is going to satisfy you, whether it be beauty, whether it be physical appearance, whether it be financial situation, whatever it be, this external materialism that you're trying to fulfill something that only God can. Let me see, what does this say? Can't see that. Yeah, it makes sense. I get it. I get it. Let me try to see that again. It says, funny thing about my dad though, his mom and dad were divorced and his mom got with someone else. So, come on, read that. Okay, there it is. Yeah, see, man, that's the kind of stuff that people get themselves into when they're using their eyes and not in their emotional heart, right? You gotta let you not you got to if your love and your interest and your wanting to be with someone is led by Yahweh, it's the truth. It's the truth, and we all go through everything. People change. People change, and sometimes they want to be detached. Sometimes they don't. No, I don't have pets. I used to have two cats. What was that? Did you see that? So like this little light, somebody shining something on me over here. I had dogs. I did want to be a dog trainer, but I gave that up. I've had all kinds of dogs and cats. My first pet was a cat, but no, I no longer have any. I don't know. It was like a little light. Did you see it? Or maybe it was me that something was in my eye. I don't know. I saw a little light right here. Came maybe from outside. All right, so my battery's running low. Let's finish.
Said to the
You
soldiers
saw
who
it?
had gone
Yeah,
into
see?
battle,
I'm not crazy.
"This is what is required by the law that the Lord gave Moses. Gold, silver, bronze, iron, tin, lead, and anything else that can withstand fire must be put through the fire, and then it will be clean. But it must also be purified with the water of cleansing. And whatever cannot withstand fire must be put through that water. On the seventh day, wash your clothes, and you will be clean. Then you may come into the camp." The Lord said to Moses, "You and Eleazar, the priest, and the family heads of the community are to count all the people and animals that were captured. Divide the spoils equally between the soldiers who took part in the battle and the rest of the community. From the soldiers who fought in the battle, set apart as tribute for the Lord 1 out of every 500, whether people, cattle, donkeys, or sheep. Take this tribute from their half share and give it to Eleazar the priest as the Lord's part. From the Israelites' half, select 1 out of every 50, whether people, cattle, donkeys, sheep, or other animals. Give them to the Levites, who are responsible for the care of the Lord's tabernacle." So Moses and Eleazar the priest did as the Lord commanded Moses. The plunder remaining from the spoils that the soldiers took was 675,000 sheep,
He even says it's a plunder.
72,000 cattle, 61,000 donkeys, and 32,000 women who had never slept with a man. The half share of those who fought in the battle was 337,500 sheep, of which the tribute for the Lord was 675. 36,000 cattle, of which the tribute for the Lord was 72. 30,500 donkeys, of which the tribute for the Lord was 61. 16,000 people, of whom the tribute for the Lord was 32. Moses gave the tribute to Eleazar the priest as the Lord's part, as the Lord commanded Moses. The half belonging to the Israelites, which Moses set apart from that of the fighting men, the community's half, was 337,500 sheep, 36,000 cattle, 30,500 donkeys, and 16,000 people. From the Israelites' half, Moses selected one out of every 50 people and animals, as the Lord commanded him, and gave them to the Levites, who were responsible for the care of the Lord's tabernacle.
God bless.
Then the officers who were over the units of the army, the commanders of thousands and commanders of hundreds, went to Moses and said to him, "Your servants have counted the soldiers under our command, and not one is missing. So we have brought as an offering to the Lord the gold articles each of us acquired, armlets, bracelets, signet rings, earrings, and necklaces, to make atonement for ourselves before the Lord." Moses and Eli crafted articles. All the gold from the commanders of thousands and commanders of hundreds that Moses and Eleazar presented as a gift to the Lord weighed 16,750 shekels. Each soldier had taken plunder for himself. Moses and Eleazar the priest accepted the gold from the commanders of thousands and commanders of hundreds and brought it into the tent of meeting as a memorial for the Israelites before the Lord. Numbers chapter 32. The Reubenites and Gadites, who had very large herds and flocks, saw that the lands of Jazer and Gilead were suitable for livestock. So they came to Moses and Eleazar the priest and to the leaders of the community and said, "Ataroth, Dibon, Jazer, Nimrah, Heshbon, Elealeh, Sebam, Nebo, and Beon, the land the Lord subdued before the people of Israel, are suitable for livestock, and your servants have livestock. If we have found favor in your eyes," they said, "let this land be given to your servants as our possession. Do not make us cross the Jordan." Moses said to the Gadites and Reubenites, "Should your fellow Israelites go to war while you sit here? Why do you discourage the Israelites from crossing over into the land the Lord has given them? This is what your fathers did when I sent them from Kadesh Barnea to look over the land. After they went up to the valley of Eshcol and viewed the land, they discouraged the Israelites from entering the land the Lord had given them. The Lord's anger was aroused that day, and he swore this oath: because they have not followed me wholeheartedly, not one of those who were 20 years old or more when they came up out of Egypt will see the land I promised on oath to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, not one, except Caleb, son of Jephunneh, the Kenizzite, and Joshua, son of Nun, for they followed the Lord wholeheartedly." The Lord's anger burned against Israel, and he made them wander in the wilderness for 40 years until the whole generation of those who had done evil in his sight was gone. And here you are, a brood of sinners, standing in the place of your fathers and making the Lord even more angry with Israel. If you turn away from following him, he will again leave all this people in the wilderness, and you will be the cause of their destruction.
What?
Then they came up to him and said, "We would like to build pens here for our life."
I can definitely see and hear why this particular book seems to encourage this type of mindset today. He just said you're the blame for them because you didn't do this, and if they die, that's because of you. What? So again, accountability and blaming everything on everybody else so that they can prosper somehow off of your name or your She's, okay.
Stock and cities for our women and children. But we will arm ourselves for battle and go ahead of the Israelites until we have brought them to their place. Meanwhile, our women and children will live in fortified cities for protection from the inhabitants of the land. We will not return to our homes until each of the Israelites has received their inheritance. We will not receive any inheritance with them on the other side of the Jordan, because our inheritance has come to us on the east side of the Jordan. Then Moses said to them, "If you will do this, if you will arm yourselves before the Lord for battle, and if all of you who are armed cross over the Jordan before the Lord until he has driven his enemies out before him, then when the land is subdued before the Lord, you may return and be free from your obligation to the Lord and to Israel, and this land will be your possession before the Lord. But if you fail to do this, you will be sinning against the Lord, and you may be sure that your sin will find you out. Build cities for your women and children and pens for your flocks, but do what you have promised." The Gadites and Reubenites said to Moses, "We, your servants, will do as our Lord commands. Our children and wives, our flocks and herds, will remain here in the cities of Gilead. But your servants, every man who is armed for battle, will cross over to fight before the Lord, just as our Lord says." Then Moses gave orders about them to Eleazar the priest and Joshua son of Nun, and to the family heads of the Israelite tribes. He said to them, "If the Gadites and Reubenites, every man armed for battle, cross over the Jordan with you before the Lord, then when the land is subdued before you, you must give them the land of Gilead as their possession. But if they do not cross over with you armed, they must accept their possession with you in Canaan." The Gadites and Reubenites answered, "Your servants will do what the Lord has said. We will cross over before the Lord into Canaan armed, but the property we inherit will be on this side of the Jordan." Then Moses gave to the Gadites, the Reubenites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh, son of Joseph, the kingdom of Sihon, king of the Amorites, and the kingdom of Og, king of Bashan, the whole land with its cities and the territory around them. The Gadites built up Dibon, Ataroth, Aroah, Atroth-Shophan, Jazer, Jogbedah, Beth-Nimrah, and Beth-Haran as fortified cities, and built pens for their flocks. And the Reubenites rebuilt Heshbon, Elealeh, and Kiriathaim, as well as Nebo and Baal-Meon. These names were changed. And Sibmah. They gave names to the cities they rebuilt. The descendants of Machir, son of Manasseh, went to Gilead, captured it, and drove out the Amorites who were there. So Moses gave Gilead to the Machirites, the descendants of Manasseh, and they settled there. Jair, a descendant of Manasseh, captured their settlements and called them Havoth-Jair. And Nobah captured Kenath and its surrounding settlements and called it Nobah after himself. Numbers chapter 33. Here are the stages in the journey of the Israelites when they came out of Egypt by divisions under the leadership of Moses and Aaron. At the Lord's command, Moses recorded the stages in their journey. This is their journey by stages. The Israelites set out from Ramesses on the 15th day of the first month, the day after the Passover. They marched out defiantly in full view of all the Egyptians, who were burying all their firstborn, whom the Lord had struck down among them, for the Lord had brought judgment on their gods. The Israelites left Ramesses and camped at Succoth.
So, just listen to what he just said. Where is it? Can I find it? He says, who were burying all their firstborn, whom the Lord had struck down among them, for the Lord had brought judgment on their gods. So there just wasn't just one